Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Let's get our heads right on a Thursday. Tough to do these days. I fully get it, and I am fully with you on the challenges of getting my own head right every single day. The doom scrolling in my home has become an epidemic, I do fear. My wife and I both talking about it this morning. Our kids kind of stumbling around the house looking for food, shelter, as my wife and I just scrolling on our phones, figuring out how and when we may need to evacuate, what we need to take with us if something happens. It's been a really interesting first week of the work year for the Ben and Woods program. I'm Woodsy, that's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. How much doom scrolling is going on in the Reindl household?
Not a ton.
Not a ton? You're
Probably
lucky.
More with my wife. I guess it's not really doom scrolling. It's doom streaming.
Doom watching. Yeah.
Doom watching. It's absolutely horrible.
It's
what's
horrible.
going on up in L.A. right
No
now.
question. No question about it. To my left, Benjamin R. Higgins. He's here, and let's get a verdict on how the old pipes are sounding.
I've recovered the lower range of my voice.
Okay, so not the upper range.
No.
Okay. The lower range sounds pretty good.
Yeah, there's going to be no falsetto today. I have to keep it very low. In a world,
Will you try
one hero emerges.
Will you try Frankie Valli's Sherry right now?
Just nothing comes
Nothing
out.
comes
nothing
out.
Comes out. Nothing comes out. That's it. I'm down here for the day.
All right, that's fine. It's a good place to be. I guess. How much doom scrolling do you do?
I try to avoid it, but occasionally you just hit one and then you go, oh, it's so depressing. The fires. I found out yesterday that my wife's cousin and her husband, and I didn't even realize this, had just moved from New York, bought a new house in the Palisades.
My
and
God,
it's
man.
Gone. It's like, oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah. I spent probably a little too much time looking at it yesterday. Devastating. Talking to a couple of buddies that live up there. Our buddy Jack, who's a postman up there, was texting with Jack. He was sending me some videos of just this apocalyptic, insane scene. And then, I don't know. I get affected by stuff. I really do, and I shouldn't. And you got things I got things going on in my family that I'm worried about. Not my Bo and Taylor and Hannah, but you always have that when you have kids and a family. But like Hannah and I this morning were legitimately okay. So if something like this were to happen, what do we grab? Where do we put it? What should we take? It was a little bit sobering too to realize I don't have a lot of stuff that I would need to take. Like for me personally, what? We
we have a go bag in our garage.
What's in it?
Like water and
food,
blanket, and,
okay.
like the emergency. It's an emergency bag. We have a go bag and a fire folder.
We have a fire folder as well, which I just found out this morning.
All of our documents,
all of our very important documents, yes,
wedding certificates, marriage license,
kids' birth certificates,
birth certificates. Yeah, we have that so that it's one thing to grab. On the way out, you grab that one.
And then you
thing.
need your gold record, your Terminator guitar. What more do you need?
You're right. Honestly, all my stuff are collectibles. Right. And do I really want to be running out of the house with my Johnny Cash autograph and my David Bowie autograph? Running out no, make room for these. You know what I mean?
Wait, where are the kids?
Where are those kids? What do you take? Pictures? We all have our pictures on our phones now, right? It's not like it used to be. So I don't know, man. When you think about it, it really makes you sad. And so many people are out there working their tails off up in L.A. right now, the firefighters, and they need help. And the humane societies are working overtime, and shelters are working overtime. And it's tough.
Now I'm thinking about it. I did do a little bit of doom scrolling yesterday, and it kind of was heartbreaking to. One example, I'm sitting there and I'm on Instagram, and TMZ posts that Paris Hilton lost her Malibu home, burned to the ground, nothing left. I pressed the comments, and people,
people are terrible, man.
Serves her right.
Yeah,
Or
she's
who
rich.
cares?
Who
She's
cares?
I'm like,
I know,
dude,
bro.
What?
Paulie,
What?
trust me.
Like, come on,
We've
guys.
lost. Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you right now.
We have lost our way.
We've lost the plot. We've been losing the plot for a long time, but we have officially lost the plot when something like this happens to our fellow Americans. And the first thing people do is go, well, whose fault is it? Oh, it's this guy's fault, or it's that person's fault, it's this person's fault, it's that person's fault. Instead of, how can I help? How do I help? What's the best way I can help my fellow Americans, rich, poor, black, white, gay, straight, whatever? How do I help them? We've lost the effing plot.
It's a natural disaster.
It's a natural disaster.
Everywhere in the world.
It is really...
And they're unavoidable.
Really, really tough, man. The reading of comments these days that's what gets me. When I say doom scrolling, that's what gets me. It's the I can feel humanity being sucked out of my body when I read the comments these days, whether it's about anything. I mean, it's anything at all. And it's just like, I think a nice social media break is probably good for a lot of people. I'm probably one of them.
Like, it shouldn't matter anything about like how you feel about this person.
Correct.
Like, people are losing their homes. They're losing everything they have.
I mean, bro,
people are dying. Like if I see an update that says Max Muncie's home burned to the ground,
I'd be devastated for Max
sucks
Muncie.
For Max
it's
Muncie,
awful.
You know what I mean?
It's
like
awful.
Anybody that says anything other than that's horrible, and I'm sorry, you're wrong.
It sucks, dude. It sucks. I mean, it is just as tough of a pill to swallow as any of them out there. You know, it really is. So, yeah, the comment sections were pretty brutal yesterday. I mean, I saw people ripping on Billy Crystal and his wife lived in the same home for 46 years. It burned to the ground. They have nothing left. He's what, 80 years old? People are like, ha ha, you rich turd. I'm like, Billy Crystal? Really? All right. I mean, I guess you're all entitled to your opinion, but, you know, I got two little boys. I'm going to teach them, if it kills me, to ask how they can help first. That's the in my opinion, that's the right way to do it. Instead of, all right, well, whose fault is it? How can I help? You know, how can I help these people that need help? How can we help here as a program with a platform? I was sharing a lot of stuff from my Instagram yesterday. I saw Ruben Niebla share a really, really cool it summarizes a lot for people. People were texting me stuff all day. I donated to the Pasadena Humane Society. That they need help. They need money. They need bowls of food and water and things like that. So, you know, I guess it's just kind of the way that it is right now, you know, and that's the part, the lack of humanity that I see on a daily basis is pretty tough. It's pretty tough to stomach. So I think, you know, trying to get back into just focusing on what I can control, and that's my attitude, my activity, and, you know, my general overall sense of purpose, which is my family and my career and things like that. But any way that we can help, please let us know. How are you feeling, by the way?
Well, I mean, those are the big scale problems of the world. I'm kind of dealing with a smaller scale problem this morning because on my way to work.
What a throwback, by the way.
It's funny. We were talking yesterday in the Reindl Report about how so many people carry spare underwear with them in case of an emergency accident.
Yeah, and you scoffed at it. I
did.
Yeah, you scoffed.
I did.
Oh, well.
I was drinking my coffee in my car on the way here, and somehow as I picked it up, it hit my knee and then completely dumped right in my crotch, just like under it, like way, and it was pouring, and I couldn't end. Like half of it
just wouldn't stop.
Half of it just emptied, scalding hot.
Scalding hot.
No joy in my life.
And I feel it all like filling up the area down there, and I know. Oh,
how's your taint?
It scalded.
You have a scalded,
slightly
right
scalded.
Right now, you're
yes.
sitting in here with a scalded taint,
and obviously, I've got a coffee stain that stretches just completely through the undercarriage, and I mean, I could feel it all the way right through the underwear. It was
that might be the worst spot on your body for
hot coffee.
Yeah,
it's a good topic.
I will say it had been about 15 minutes at least. It wasn't hot like 1 minute out of the pot. It was like 15 minutes and had cooled off a little bit. So it was still really hot.
Hot liquid to the taint is
really
never
hot.
Good. Even in the shower, it's not great.
No.
It's probably why that area is hidden where it is.
Right.
It's not exposed to the
Yes.
scalding hot water.
It's hard to get the hot water there.
Yes.
But
it's
somehow
sensitive.
I managed to get it down there quite a bit. I mean, we're talking a good
16-ounce cup with 8 ounces.
I would say 6 to 8 ounces. Got completely down there.
So he walks in. He walks in this morning and he goes, well, I guess I shouldn't have laughed at that story yesterday because I could sure use some. And I'm like, oh, no. He goes, no, not that. But the hot coffee. And then he turns around and he has that little diarrhea butt where it's the little oval
Of course,
around your
coffee
butt.
is brown. Of course, coffee is brown.
It's around the little oval from the top to the bottom. And I just die. I go, dude, that's so awful. It's an insult to injury because you just burned your taint, and now you got to walk around with a doo-doo stain.
Now everyone's like, that guy.
No, hold on real quick.
No, you don't understand. Everybody that Ben walks past goes, hey, it's coffee. It's coffee.
Coffee. I need
They're
a
like,
sign.
what? They haven't even seen him yet.
So the worst part is, after the show today, you're going... You're going to play golf at Torrey Pines for the media day.
I mean, they do sell clothes.
I would go into the pro
golf
shop and
I
buy
might
you
have
some
to-
shorts,
Might
bro.
have to buy some shorts or something.
Oh, all right, let me
Number
Let me see.
two.
Turn around. Let me see the stain if it's still there. Oh, dude, yes, it is there. Oh, you look like you asked your pants.
Hasn't really been my week, that's for sure.
Oh, my stomach. I am absolutely dying. I am dying. That is so good, Betty. I'm so sorry. That feeling though, when you spill something in your car and it's just you're watching it go glug 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 glug.
I can't.
and
I'm
you
trying to
can't
grab it. Stop. Turn it over. Turn it over.
I've done it with water. Gatorade spilled all over me. It's just like that. Blub, 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 blub. And you just
Such a small little opening. How does
Yes.
so much get out in such a fast amount of time?
I am dead, dude. Well, I needed that levity, Benjamin, and thank you for providing it. I think we all did. Just want to let the tier ones know how much we love and appreciate you guys, and how sorry we are for the people up in LA for what's going on right now, man. Holy cow.
I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. I will start to let you in on that when we come back. First, though, I want to tell everybody about my great experience with Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports. I've been playing last few months all the way through football season. I did baseball season last year as well. It's really easy to play, and it's a lot of fun. All you have to do is pick more or less on stat projections from 2 to 6 players. Combine as many as you want, as few as you want. You can play your own game, run it the way you want, and win up to 1,000 times your cash. The power plays are when you're like, hey, I'm going with 4 players, and if they all win, I can really win a lot of money. You can go flex plays, though, and I go 3 players, and only 2 need to win, and you can win money in that circumstance as well. And when you download the app at Prize Picks, make sure you use our code KWFN. That's the radio station call signal. KWFN, you're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup, so make sure you download the app. It's very easy to set up. It's very easy to upload the funds. You can use MasterCard, Venmo, there's Apple Pay, different ways to do it. And then when you win, it's just as easy to get your money back. I get it. I've withdrawn money like in minutes. It's very fast, right back into your account, which I was worried about. They handle it really, really well. So check it out today. All the projections for the playoff games this weekend, college football as well. Do it today with Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Actually, a pretty busy show for you. You're coming up today, including
busiest.
Yeah, we got a guest here about 15 minutes away. Someone we all really enjoy reading.
Love him.
See Trent Rosecrans is a reporter for The Athletic. He covers the Reds and also wrote a piece about Roki Sasaki yesterday. I heard Annie and Braden talking about it on their show, and I thought it was very fascinating. It kind of explored what Joel Wolf had said was important to Roki Sasaki, and then sort of scientifically broke it down, like which team would make most sense then based on what he is looking for. And the results, well, they may surprise you, but we'll talk to C. Trent. I know you loved him in the Pete Rose documentary. He was very good in that.
Incredible. He's an incredible speaker, writer, all of it. He's one of my favorite authors out there, writers out there, covering the Cincinnati Reds. And again, that's a team that remains pretty fascinating to me. They're active. They're actively trying to improve. They just picked up Gavin Lux. They're an interesting team to cover. Probably more interesting for him to cover now than they were a few years ago.
We will talk about last night's San Diego State basketball game, which was a blowout as expected. It just didn't start that way, and it was a really unusual college basketball game at Viejas Arena last night. We'll get into that at 7 o'clock. Don't do this at 7:20. Then at 7:35, it's been a while, but he's been a longtime guest of the Ben and Woods program, Dennis Dodd, covering NCAA football for CBS Sports, and we will take a look at the national semifinal matchups, which begin tonight. Woods with your Notre Dame Fighting Irish against the Penn State and Nittany Lions in the first of the two semifinals.
I wore my green today. You're supposed to wear green today if you're a Notre Dame fan. And so I wore my green today. I'm very nauseous and disgusted and sick about watching this game tonight. Which, again, I tweeted it over the break. There's nothing fun about sports. Nothing. There's literally nothing fun about sports. Unless your team wins, then that's fun. But the lead up to your team winning is absolutely excruciating and horrible. And you do wonder, there are people out there that aren't emotionally and almost physically tied to their favorite sports team. And that must be a refreshing feeling.
Yesterday, James Franklin, the coach at Penn State, said some comments that irked Notre Dame fans. I don't know if you were irked.
Well, it's the same old tired tropes that you've been hearing for years.
Well, and I actually tend to agree with James Franklin, so we may fight about it a little bit.
Yeah, we will. I have one.
Today.
I just have one word for you. That's all I have. I have one word in the response to what James Franklin said.
I can't. We'll wait.
Okay,
we'll wait.
save it.
We'll do that when we talk college football.
And it's not taint either.
Second half of the program, our new time slot for Take on Woods. Actually, it's real or fake today on a Throwback Thursday, although we're still going with our new open every day this
we're
year.
not doing
We're
the
just
old
going Jim
throwback
Morrison
stuff.
and is it Queens of the Stone Age, right? That's the song.
Yes.
So that's every day on the open, but it is kind of a throwback Thursday. So we'll play Real or Fake at 8:20, and then at 8:35 we have an interesting guest. His name's Willie Mack III. He's a pro golfer. He's going to be playing in the Farmers Insurance Open later this month at Torrey Pines. Has a really interesting story. He's won a bunch on the Advocates Tour. He made the U.S. Open last year. He's made a few PGA Tour starts, but you were just talking about eradicating homeless people earlier this week.
Oh, my God.
He actually used to be homeless himself as he was pursuing his golf career and life. So you can kind of talk about your philosophy with Willie Mack III when he joins us at 8:35.
Should we play it just so that people have the context in case they missed it? If you're a new audience, maybe you're listening for the first time. I had a horrible misspeak, probably the worst misspeak of my career, and now it's going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Based on my experience with Peter Seidler, that was his vision. He wanted to win championships. He wanted to do it almost more than anything in the world. Eradicate homeless people, right? Not eradicate homeless people. Son of a
Whoa.
eradicate homelessness.
Whoa.
God, I was on such a good roll. I was feeling really good about where that segment was heading until I said he wants to eradicate homeless people, which was the the opposite of what Peter Seidler wanted to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, you don't do what he did if you wanted to eradicate.
Luckily, you didn't have your way, or Willie Mack III wouldn't be around anymore to be on our show. So.
First of all, for the record, it is not my way. It's not my way at all. Quite the opposite.
Changed.
And then in our final hour, we still have our football threesome. It'll be a little different today. We're just going to look ahead to all the wild card matchups. We got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday football, although there's obviously some concern about the game in Los Angeles, even though it's not until Monday.
Let's do a little pick'em.
Yeah, we will do a little pick'em for the football games. Why not? We'll just do all of them. We usually do our best bet, but might as well just
Let's just pick 'em.
Just do all the games, and we can keep score.
Keep score.
We've done that every year.
We've done it every year.
Let's do it again in the playoffs.
Nobody's ever done that on sports radio before, so
Pick
that'll
10.
be cool and interesting.
NFL playoff games against the spread. We've invented a brand new
This is-
sports radio segment.
People are
Listen.
going to be waking up.
I
just can't wait to hear Ben's playoff picks.
I saw a guy the other day in a thread, and he was talking crap about us, and he said, that show's never had an original thought in their life. And I counter right now with, how about a pick'em of NFL football
There
games,
you go.
Whoever you are.
Yeah.
Suck on that,
My
dude.
prediction is the rest of America could follow suit and start copying
Yeah,
us.
I mean, look, it's not going to surprise me at all.
Yeah.
As a show that's never had an original thought.
I mean, before you know it, some guy is going to hear us making our picks, and then he's going to start a website where he offers picks.
Yeah.
And you can, like, pay
Pay
a
him.
subscription fee
Wow.
for his picks.
Yeah.
That he says is never wrong.
I read that comment, and I go, is that? No, that's not true. I feel like we're a pretty original show. We kind of go against the grain and do things kind of the way that we want to do them. So I didn't let it bother me.
That's what makes him upset.
That's what gets him. Yeah, that's what gets him.
So, and we've got a Reindl Report at the end of the show. But coming up in our next segment, I mentioned Trent Rosecrans. Also, got a little surprise for you. So
I don't like this. What is this?
my voice has been a bit of a moving target, obviously, the last couple of days. And everyone was like trying to guess, who does Ben sound like? And, you know, Louis Armstrong, Barry White.
Louis Armstrong.
Emperor Palpatine. There was a lot of guesses yesterday. And actually, as I was driving home, it finally struck me, at least who I sounded like yesterday. And it wasn't any of those people. And I figured it out. And
I mean, people guessed like mystical, like, you know, there were names all across the board.
Everyone was guessing.
Ja Rule.
Ja Rule.
This
Nobody
morning, I
guessed.
sound like the movie trailer guy, I've heard. But I finally figured it out, and Paulie and I put a little something together.
What?
Yeah, Ben
And-
texted me, and I go,
yeah.
"Oh my God, you're right."
Yeah.
Love this.
Not one person guessed accurately.
So I want to
who
give you a
sound-
clue, and I want to see if you can try to figure it out. So here are the clues, and we'll reveal it after we talk to Trent Rosecrans in our next segment. He's an English singer and is a one-hit wonder from the early 90s. I will leave it at that, and you can ponder who I think that I sounded like yesterday, and all will be revealed after we talk to Trent Rosecrans about Roki Sasaki, Pete Rose, and more. We'll do that coming up next with Ben and Woods. But first, Woodsy's got something for you.
Yeah, my friends, I wanted to tell you about Underdog. If you're a sports fan here in California, my guess is that you are. Underdog is now available to play here in our state. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Which players are going to go off? Which ones are ice cold? I did a little Underdog last night for the Aztecs game, and I had 6 picks. I hit 3 of them. All of the Aztecs guys did what I picked them to do. None of the Air Force guys did what I picked them to do. So, hey, listen, it happens in daily fantasy, but I'm all in tonight. I'm all in tonight on the Notre Dame-Penn State game. So if you want to get in with me, it's a lot of fun, man. I've had so much fun. Won some cash over the break, certainly. It's really, really fun. Every dog deserves a second chance. With Underdog Rescues, you can get your money back, receive a promo if an early injury causes your entry to lose. So if you're looking at the Irish tonight, they're a little bit banged up. Jeremiah Love, I think his over-under is at 38.5 yards. So for him, you may want to take that under, right? And then if he does get hurt, you can get your money back, which is pretty cool. So check it out. Underdog, the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app. Sign up with the promo code WOODS, WOODS. Deposit now to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code WOODS. You must be 18 and over, present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
The last time we saw our next guest, we were walking in front of the convention center. Was it? I guess it was baseball's winter meetings, I assume.
Yeah.
And just happened. Who was he walking with? AJ Cassavell
It was
or
Corey Brock.
Corey Brock? That's right. Follow the Padres formerly, and see Trent Rosecrans with the Athletic was there, and it was nice to actually meet him in person. Talked to him before, and we've got him on the line right now, joining us here on Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. See, Trent, it is great to have you on. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me. It's less morning here than it is there,
True.
but it's also snowier here than it is there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it was 70 yesterday, see, Trent, when I picked up my son from school, and it was just another reminder what a great, great city to be in. I'm looking behind you. You have a lot of Star Wars stuff. I apologize for my co-host sounding like Darth Vader. He doesn't usually sound like this. He's got a little bit of laryngitis.
No,
Yeah.
I am your father.
Why would you apologize for such a thing?
That's true. Actually, it's a good point, man. Good point. Well, we before we get into the piece that you wrote about Roki Sasaki, which was awesome yesterday, I wanted to commend you, talk to you about your appearance on the Pete Rose documentary. I loved it so much. I thought you described what it was like being a Pete Rose fan, knowing all the things that you knew, his legacy, all that. I think you knocked that out of the park. Like, it was so well done by you. How was that experience for you being on that documentary?
It was super cool. It was like two and a half years ago, and it was kind of weird. Like, I could tell right away that this was a real production.
Yeah.
Not like no offense, it wasn't just like a StreamYard. It was like there were like multiple cameras. And my favorite part was they had like a coffee cup next to me on the thing. And between every question, they would refill it and say, "Don't drink from that." So I think it was dry ice. And so it had like that little waft of stuff. And I'm like, this is next level.
All right.
And so it was really cool. I told the people right away, I said, hey, I'm not from Cincinnati. I never covered Pete. I've dealt with him a couple times, but I don't really know him. So I may not be the best person for this. And they're like, no, go ahead and do it anyway. So I did. And it was a really cool experience. And I thought they did a great job on that documentary of kind of, in journalism school or writing, what we always talk about is show, don't tell. And they showed Pete's issues and didn't as much tell them. And I thought it was really, really well done.
I'm going to start bringing dry ice into the studio and
idea.
keeping a cup next to me. I, too, want that that air
Vapory,
about me, the vapory air
yeah.
about me. I thought that's what a nice little trick.
So, see, Trent, now that, his passing has been a few months, what do you think is going to happen in terms of the legacy of Pete Rose going forward, the Hall of Fame, how the Reds handle this now in death?
Well, I think you're going to have both sides of it. If you're talking about the Hall of Fame on one end, I don't think they're going to change their stance at all. And on the other end, you have the Reds, who we already have May 14th, I think, when the White Sox are in town, fittingly, just because, well, why else would you come to a White Sox game on a Wednesday?
That's fair enough.
And so they're going to have a celebration that day. It's also the 50th anniversary of the Big Red Machine, his first World Series title. So I think there's going to be a lot of that just to see if they can get some people out, because you bring in those guys, the fans are going to come to celebrate them. And I know I actually talked to Ken Griffey Jr. the other day, and he said he was planning on coming for that as well.
Such a dynamite name drop right there.
Pretty
our producer,
awesome flex, I'd say.
Our producer grew up in Seattle, and he's just like, I could just see his eyes go up like, oh, son of a gun. Got to dust.
That'd be really cool.
Talk
Okay,
to
if I'm
Junior.
going to be dropping things, I'll be like, it is still weird for me when I pick up the phone and it says Ken Griffey Jr. Even though I've known Ken forever,
Ken.
I was at his house for the Hall of Fame induction or the Hall of Fame call, which was really cool. And he's just actually a really good dude, and we talk several times a year.
That's amazing. Talking to C. Trent Rosecrans, who is he covers the Reds for The Athletic, and I wanted to ask you about the Reds because they were an interesting team to me last year. They made moves. It's refreshing to see. I know it gives a little bit of juice to the city. Longtime Reds fans are longing for the days of the Big Red Machine, which was so long ago, but they've had talent over the years. They continue to kind of amass talent, and I think I'm most excited for you guys about getting Tito. Tito is one of my favorite guys on the planet. Came out of some bad health and is now going to get back into it again. To be able to cover him on a daily basis, I'm actually quite jealous of that because he seems like such a good human being.
Zach Mizell, our Cleveland Guardians writer, texted me right away. It's like, I'm so jealous of you. And he's a guy who had Tito forever. And just knows him. Tito's, it's been great so far. I talked to him a couple of weeks ago just because when I was finalizing my Hall of Fame ballot, I tried to talk to a bunch of people. That's why I talked to Ken as well, and several other people I kind of respect and know. So I always kind of take that into my research for Hall of Fame voting, which I spend way too much time on.
As I would too.
So let's talk about the fun piece you wrote for The Athletic yesterday on the Roki Sasaki sweepstakes, because you tried to, I think it was interesting. You made something that's inherently unscientific a little bit scientific, parsing the words of Joel Wolf, his agent, what he was looking for in a team, and then tried to determine what would be the best fit. So kind of explain your methodology for our audience and how you came to the conclusions that you did.
Well, I'm glad you said fun, first of all. I think some people thought I was trying to be like totally serious. It was fun just because there were some like different things that Joel Wolf said at the winter meetings that were a little different and kind of raised some eyebrows. Most saying like, hey, maybe a small market might be something he would be interested in, and that might be some of an advantage. And I thought that was weird, and I think a lot of people it caught their ear. And then I had someone from a team call me and be like, "Hey, can you get me the BBWA roles for each chapter? Because we want to put that in our pitch because we think we have one of the smaller ones."
Oh.
It's like, that's interesting. And so that kind of got me thinking, like, okay, what can we look at? Because that is an interesting metric that he threw out there. And I was like, okay, so let me go through what Joel said at the winter meetings and kind of identify a couple of criteria. And each was hard to quantify. And I think I put that in there because each one I just said, here's the limitations of what I chose, and here's why I chose it. So there were 4. And one of those was the media market, like I said. And so to do that, we just took how many BBWA members were in each chapter, because there are 26, 28. I don't remember, because 7, because New York, Baltimore, 26. New York, Baltimore, Washington, Chicago, and LA have multiple teams for those cities. So you don't have 30 chapters. And so that was also noted in the methodology that said, hey, the Cubs have more people covering them than the White Sox, and the Dodgers more than the Angels. Those kind of things. Oh, and the Bay Area too. So that was mentioned, and where it came down to is you kind of looked at it, and that's the people who travel every day. And it is, I always say, if you're not on the road, you're not on the beat.
Yeah.
Because that is where the stuff goes. I remember when Matt Harvey made his first start for the Reds after being traded, and we're in Los Angeles, and he's like sitting there waiting for everybody to get there before he starts talking. And we're like, and I go, Matt, this is everybody.
This is all of us. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And so he's like, all right, let's go. And so like there is a difference. Now, of course, with Japanese players, it is different because Roki Sasaki is going to have a number of Japanese media personnel covering him. And so, I mean, you guys see that with Otani and some of the other guys. I mean, I meant Darvish for you guys. Sorry,
Yeah, for us.
But yeah, so that was one of them. And I looked at that and like, so here were the smallest markets. And then another one was success on the field. That's easy. Like it just, I went back 4 years because that's recent. And it also doesn't count 2020 because 2020 screws everything up for everything. And then another one was pitching development. And that was harder. And I did Cy Young stuff just because I was trying to think about top end. And I had average ERA in there, and it didn't change really the results that much because I did do all the calculations. And I liked the Cy Young just voting because it was talking about, Sasaki has talked about how he wants to be the best ever. He wants to be on that Otani level.
Yeah, he's a top end pitcher.
And so,
that makes sense,
that's what we're talking about. He wants someone to make him great, to be the best pitcher in baseball. And how do you measure that? Well, the Cy Young every year tries to do that.
Yeah.
So that is why I use that metric. And then the final one was just kind of a mention about getting to and from Japan, and not just for Sasaki, but for his friends, family, etc. And so, like, looking at exactly how long those flights are and how long it takes, and who has those flights. I think there are 15 flights in the U.S. or 15 airports in the U.S. that have direct flights to Japan, plus Toronto. And then, like, you guys have done it. You're in Southern California. You avoid LAX at all costs. So, I mean, like, that doesn't count. There's wiggle room in there, but like, I will drive 2 hours out of my way not to go to LAX. And I think everybody else would agree with that. Anybody who's been to LAX. And then, so again, that's another place where San Diego shined because there's nothing better than flying into San Diego.
Nothing.
A quick cab, Uber, Lyft, whatever, to the hotel and ballpark. That's where San Diego came out on top.
That's the bottom line here.
Yeah, the bottom line. That's
after you put it all together, the Padres were number one on the list, which is why
media market,
flights, development, and wins.
Development,
Yep.
yeah, all of that.
It's just what it's doing though. Trent is potentially setting us up for more heartbreak and failure. As that is
because the Padres never spend money in free agency.
Right. I mean, look, he is a guy. We've talked about it ad nauseum. I mean, the offseason really it's slow as far as moves on the field, certainly here in San Diego, but. Roki is a guy that changes the entire complexion, really, of any team he goes to because of, his affordability and just how good he's been and the potential. The ceiling of Roki Sasaki is something that it's got us salivating. And really, I think I'm going to need the day off if he doesn't come here. You know what I mean? A day of mourning the next day because it's going to be tough, especially if he ends up where we think he will end up. And you just mentioned LAX. That's one that'll hurt. That's one that'll sting for a while.
Yeah, I mean, like, I could see it if you're in San Diego. I mean, like, anybody but the Dodgers, but the Dodgers. Like, 1 Padres, 2 anybody but the Dodgers.
Correct. Yeah, that's pretty
3
much
Dodgers.
it. That's kind of how we live our
20,
lives.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
570.
Yeah, that's how we live our lives.
It's a fun piece. People should check it out. See Trent if they have the athletic subscription, which we do, and everyone should. We thank you for your time this morning. Again, great job in that Pete Rose documentary as well, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again during the season, maybe when the Reds and Padres square off.
Yeah, would love it.
Anytime, guys. Thanks so
man.
much.
Appreciate you.
See Trent Rosecrans from The Athletic. Yeah, he put all his factors together.
I love it.
And I wasn't expecting when I read the piece that at the end that the Padres would be on top, but he made a pretty good case that there's a reason why, Roki Sasaki is probably strongly considering the Padres. He ticks the boxes of what he's looking for with the San Diego Padres. And, should you be confident? I wouldn't say confident. I'd say you should feel at least there's a chance.
You're in the mix.
That you're strongly in the mix.
Interesting. Like, the way that he put it all together, Trent did in The Athletic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, for the Padres to come out as a clear number
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Dodgers, they're like
Way down.
very middle of the road, like middle of the pack. And you go, huh.
The media market thing hurt them. I mean, we're talking about the scrum size, essentially. Like, is there going to be 60 people around you every day when you speak at your locker, or 6?
I told you.
And
Yeah.
If we get him, I won't even look at that man. I will not look at him. I will not say anything to him. I just want to watch him pitch every 6th day. I won't bug anybody. I don't even go down there anyway. But if they said, all right, we'll get Rogie, you can't come down all year. Done. I don't care. I just want to watch this kid pitch. I want to watch him pitch and stay and be a San Diego Padre, man.
I saw some guesses in the chat as to who it was that I actually sounded like yesterday. We will reveal and surprise Woods a little bit when we come back from traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Well, guys, police activity is still at the Civic Center off-ramp shut down southbound 5 in the downtown area, so plan accordingly if you normally take that exit. Also, stalled car northbound side of the 805 at the North 15 connector. That's over the right shoulder. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now, Paul, you have to admit this is a little out of character for me. This is usually
extremely out of character.
This is usually something Woods would have to twist my arm,
Prod you,
and make me do. But
Yeah.
I feel like I'm trying to grow a little bit.
Look at you. I'm proud of you, man.
I heard it. I was talking to myself in the car, and I go, I know that voice. Where do I know that voice? And it finally struck me, because it's so weird to hear someone else's voice coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
It's very bizarre.
Can I read the text that you sent me?
Sure,
'Cause
please.
I thought this was growth. Listen to our old pal Ben Higgins yesterday. I'm driving home, and he texts me, and he says, I finally realized who I sounded like, so I decided to take a chance on a bit and recorded something as soon as I got home before my voice got worse. Let me know what you think, and if you like it, you can punch it up with some production, and we can surprise Woods.
This guy.
And I go, look, full disclosure, I see that. Before I get the file that you sent over with it, I just see the text and I go, oh, this is going to be a banger, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, right said Ben.
Perfect.
I'm too sexy for my shirt.
Oh.
Too sexy for my shirt.
Oh my God.
So sexy it hurts. And I'm too sexy for Milan. Too sexy for Milan, New York, and Japan.
It's got the accent down and everything.
I can't even speak.
And I'm too sexy for your body.
You have
Too
prior
sexy
Phil
for
timing,
your
though.
body. In a way, I'm disco dancing. I'm a model, you know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk. On the catwalk. Yeah, I do my little turn on the catwalk.
You're a legend.
Oh, it gets better.
It gets better.
Oh, yeah.
I'm too sexy for my car. Too sexy for my car. Too sexy by far. I'm too sexy for my hat. Too sexy for my hat. What you think about that? I'm a model. You know what I mean. And I do my little turn on the catwalk. Yeah, on the catwalk.
What do you do on the
yeah,
catwalk?
on the catwalk.
He does his little turn.
I shake my little tush on the catwalk.
Save that forever. Save that for.
Oh, wait, you don't even know what you need to save yet.
You got to remember the last
The
verse.
last
of
verse
course.
is coming.
Remember.
Oh. Strap in.
I'm too sexy for my cat. Too sexy for my cat. Poor pussy. Poor pussy cat. I'm too sexy for my love. Too sexy for my love. Love's gonna leave me. And I'm too sexy for this song.
I love it. What can I say? That is.
It's elite.
I thought that's who I sounded like
I'm
yesterday.
completely blown away and proud. That's how I feel, like a proud dad. So proud of you. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't even know it was coming till today.
And now I get to talk Aztecs when we come
All
back.
right, yeah. You know what? You've earned it.
Thank
You've earned
you.
it. Yeah,
Thank you.
you've
Good
earned
trade.
it. Man,
San Diego
fair trade.
State Air Force last night. It's coming up next. Ben Woods, hour number 2 on 97.3 The Fan.
God, that was good, Benjamin. Hank says we need a Ben and Woods karaoke party. That is a freaking fantastic idea. I mean, a fantastic idea. Did I ever tell you guys about what they had back in Dallas? Rock and Roll Karaoke was the name of it. And it was at this bar by my house where they had an actual band, a bass player, a guitar player, and a drummer, and a microphone. And you sign up, and you could go up and sing. It wasn't karaoke with the little bouncing ball. You're with a band. And it was undoubtedly the coolest thing I've ever. It was so rad to go up and be like, all right, let's do David Bowie Heroes. And they just start playing it. And you're like, I wish I could swim. And you're singing.
I mean, greatest thing, but also sometimes the worst thing, right?
So cool. No, it was just awesome.
Was everyone good? Or
No, not everyone was good. But like, you get to play with a band. And that's something totally different than going up and being like, all right, hello, I'm going to do, Total Eclipse of the Heart now and follow the bouncing ball. Playing with a band was cool. That'd be a fun Ben and Woods party to put something like that together.
Sounds like the idea they came up with at the end of Step Brothers, karaoke and roll.
Karaoke and roll, yeah. I mean, it's really, really
We do know
fun.
Bobby Cressy.
We do. He can play
he has
anything.
a band. And
Yep.
He's a very talented musician. So
He can play anything.
we may be able to make that happen at some point.
Man, that was a good bit you just did, though. I'm very proud of you.
Appreciate
That's an
it.
A+.
Thank you.
A+.
Appreciate that. So
I
I've
didn't
earned my
think about
Aztecs
it.
talk.
I mean, I want to talk some
I know,
Aztecs,
you watched
too. That
it
was
too.
great.
I'm too sexy for my cat. Too sexy for my cat. Poor pussy. Poor pussy cat. I'm too sexy for my love. Too sexy
He
for
really
my
got
love.
into it.
Love's gonna leave me. And I'm too sexy for this song.
That's it.
Gavin has already cut and paste me onto the music video. If you want to go to my X feed, I have retweeted that, so you can see me on Right Said Fred.
Does he have the shirt with all
the mesh
hole?
shirt, and they pull it off.
Mesh,
Yeah.
We got to find you a mesh shirt. We really do. We actually need to all come in one day in those mesh shirts. Mesh shirt Wednesday. And we'll just do it and just wear mesh shirts.
We're not really
It's
in the
more of
business of eradicating our viewers and listeners, though. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
I don't know.
Maybe 1 hour of one day in one year.
It could be
I
a
don't
bet.
want mesh shirt Wednesday.
Be a thing.
thing.
We could do, if you lose a bet, you have to do the whole show in a mesh shirt. I'm fine with that.
I saw.
All right, how about this? We're doing Pick'em later.
All right.
Loser of Pick'em has to
Mesh
do it.
shirt
Mesh,
for an hour.
Mesh shirt for an hour.
An
We
hour.
tried that a while back. I was looking at our montage video reel that plays during commercial breaks, and we did the Christmas message, like, hey, happy holidays or whatever, a couple of years back, and me and Ben were wearing holiday sweaters. I'll be funny.
Yeah.
But holiday sweaters. And you were wearing the Blake Shelton t-shirt.
Blake Shelton
that we found in
t-shirt.
the
That's like
prize
that was a
closet.
small.
Yeah, small, medium, whatever.
No kidding, over the break, because I do the clean out. I just threw it away. I didn't throw it away. I donated it, but I just got rid of it out of my closet. I had it for 2 years, sitting there, skin tight. Blake. I looked at it and I go, I'm never wearing this again. I need this bad juju out of my closet. All right, Benny, let's get into it, man.
Aztecs had some bad juju in the first, I don't know, about 8-9 minutes of the game last night against Air Force, a team that has not won at Viejas Arena in almost 20 years. And they came out and they were kicking the Aztecs' butt up and down the court. It was 20-8 at one point, and you're going, I mean, I know the Aztecs can come back from this, but this would be a devastating home loss against a 3-win team. If they don't figure it out quickly, this is potentially a catastrophic game for San Diego State. Brian Dutcher calls a timeout. And I think this is important to note because it was like 11 minutes left. The next time the ball went out of bounds or there was a foul or anything, they were going to a media timeout anyway. So he said, I don't care that they're going to charge me with a timeout here. I need to make a point. I need to bring my players over and change their mindset. Whatever he said may go down as the greatest coaching minute in the history of college basketball because they went from down 20-8, and over the next 23 minutes of the game into the second half, went on a 40-4 run against Air Force. 40-4. It was nuts, and it wasn't just all the shots were going in. They were getting dunks. B.J. Davis had an 11-0 run on his own coming out of halftime. That was just impressive. The Air Force coach at the end of the game, Joe Scott, said, bottom line, they're just way better.
They're better.
Us. They're
He said they're better than
us.
Jared Coleman Jones with a great quote. He said, Coach Dutch, he pretty much just gives you a look. You already know coming into the huddle that, hey, lock in. We are not playing to our standards right now. And, so they came out, Benny, absolutely on fire. Again, Miles Byrd really helped kind of get with that.
That's 7 points,
I know,
which is crazy.
And they were talking about it on the broadcast. He actually started the game like 1 for 5. And they're like, yeah, but that's misleading. And that's kind of the weird thing about sports. If you just look at numbers, right? If you just looked at the numbers after the game, you go, oh, Miles Byrd had an off night. They were talking about everything he was doing other than scoring to help that team keep its energy, its momentum. Watching that dude play, that dunk that he threw down was just phenomenal. Had another steal, was nullified immediately, or he would have gone on back-to-back insane dunks. They're talking about him last night, and we've seen a little bit of pub recently about NBA scouts are taking notice. NBA scouts are taking notice of Miles Byrd right now. We were texting about it last night. What's the offer that kid's getting? How hard is it going to be to keep Miles Byrd here?
I mean, if Lamont Butler reportedly got, what was it, 600,000-800,000 to go to Kentucky, you got to figure it's at least something like that. With if he doesn't go to the NBA next year, Paulie said, maybe he declares for the draft. I thought he definitely had at least one more year in college in him, but he has taken such a big leap forward this year.
I was talking with some friends about that as well yesterday, and somebody made a good point. If and when Reese Waters comes back this season, that could impact. Maybe you see a little bit of a decline in Miles Byrd's numbers. And, at the end of the year, it's a good year, but not maybe as great of a year as it kind of seems.
Yeah.
If Reese Waters comes in and gets those minutes back and performs like we expect him to, all of a sudden, maybe you do keep Miles Byrd for one more year.
Maybe.
They were saying on the broadcast that only, I think, 2 players on the roster that play at least currently this year won't be returning or eligible to return next year. So the whole team, they could run it back next year, essentially.
Yeah.
With experience. With chemistry.
What the color analyst was yesterday, he said this could be a top 10 team all year next year.
Yeah, it was Casey Jacobson, the former Stanford player who was doing the color commentary on FS1. He also said Miles Byrd's going to win the Mountain West Player of the Year award. That's going to give him a lot of notoriety, though. And again, there is going to be Kentucky's, the North Carolinas, Dukes. They're going to come with big offers. I'm sure that, Brian Dutcher, with that $1 million tournament and everything, they put together a war chest to try to keep some of these players, but you're not going to be able to keep everybody in this new era of NIL. You're going to lose players. You're going to lose players to the NBA. But if there's some way, Paulie, that they can keep this unit together. They look like a tournament team this year. Who knows, how far they can go. But if they can bring back almost everybody next year and add a healthy Reese Waters, all right, you're talking about a team that's coming back as a national title contender next year, I think. Top 10, top 15 in the country.
Yeah, it was Wayne McKinney, and there was one
Jared
other.
Coleman Jones, I think, is the other one.
Those are the 2 that play now, that aren't eligible to come back next year. Everybody else, at least 1 year of eligibility left. You're like, dude.
I mean, so many freshmen that are doing so well, and they're only going to get better. Farrell Compton, Taj DeGorville, they're, Magoon. Their games are going to get more refined, more subtle as they go forward, and they're only going to get more athletic and explosive as well.
Yeah.
Get that money into the collective. Right? Get that money into the collective.
Your part.
Make that donation to the collective, because this is a team I like watching a ton and would love to see. Obviously, you got to see how the rest of the season plays out. But, you look at it on paper, and we know better than to judge things on paper. But you look at it on paper, like Paulie just mentioned, and you think, we don't have Reese Waters yet. Like, get Reese Waters back. Get him in the mix. Some of these minutes are going to suffer, but, you got a guy that can score, and then you got Byrd on the other side. It's the sky's the limit for this team. They're just, I was with you guys. I texted you guys one word. I said, fun. After Air Force is draining threes and we're turning the ball over, I go, this is fun. And next thing you know, man, just an obliteration of Air Force.
And what they did was they took advantage of their athleticism and size, and the offensive rebound numbers were clearly the huge difference in the game. Final offensive rebound total: San Diego State 24, Air Force 2. Including 10 offensive rebounds, 10 for Jared Coleman Jones. in his 14 rebounds total. They had pretty much unlimited chances to score. They go down, they miss, doesn't matter. They get the rebound, they miss again, they get the rebound again. Eventually, you are going to score when you have unlimited opportunities at the basket. So San Diego State ends up winning 67-38.
They covered.
They did cover.
They did
They're
cover.
now 3-1. It was under. We talked about that yesterday. A little.
Was it under?
The
Yeah.
under.
Yeah.
Under hits. Well, 38 points is not
You're
much
going to need
for
more than that from
a Division I team.
You know who didn't cover?
USD
Gonzaga.
did not. Yeah, they played.
Gonzaga
they played their best.
did not cover.
I would say USD played one of their best games of the season. They played great against San Diego State, and they played really well against Gonzaga. Hit 11 threes. Were able to at least keep kind of up there with Gonzaga scoring. They lost 93-80, but much closer game than people were expecting up in Spokane against that team that's ranked number 18 in the country.
Line was 29.5.
It feels like USD plays Gonzaga pretty well.
And San
a lot
Diego
of
State.
times.
They get up for the big games. It's the other games that they've had some struggling with. So
That was one of the most insane runs I've ever seen in a basketball game yesterday.
44?
I mean,
Yeah.
it was,
It's-
what was it? It was 20-8
20-8.
Air Force.
Air Force.
At
You're
one
sweating
point.
it.
And the next time, like before you knew it, it was
48-24
48 to
Aztecs.
24, and then they finally scored again. 36 minutes of real time between points.
Yeah, but they had free throw and they had a goaltending, but between the ball actually going in the basket, it was 36 minutes of real time elapsed.
That is
Between it looked like a varsity team taking on a JV team. For a large portion of that game.
Unreal.
San Diego State now goes on the road for a very big game. New Mexico is undefeated in the Mountain West.
Mama. When's that one?
It's Saturday morning at 10 a.m. It's the early start, and it's at the Pit, which is a tough arena to play. I don't think anyone on the Aztecs has played there because I don't think they went last year. It was like the one they missed or something. So they have to go. It's at altitude. I don't know if people know this, but Albuquerque, I think, is like 5,000 feet. So it's not quite Wyoming or Colorado, but it's
something.
It's long, challenging on the lungs as well. This is a tough
game,
tough road game, tough time, and again, it's a nationally televised game again on main CBS right before an NFL playoff game. So probably going to have as many eyeballs on the Aztecs as you're going to have all season for this game, and hopefully they can carry over some of the momentum from the win at Boise State and then the win last night against Air Force and play another good game on Saturday at New Mexico. And if they do, then they'll be right back near the top of the conference with Utah State going forward. So they'll pretty much erase that loss.
Good.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. Don't Do This is coming up next. There was a video circulating yesterday of someone who works at my television role, sports reporter anchor, doing an in-studio hit.
Yeah, just a quick hit. And there was a little bit of something in the background that he's wearing it for right now. We need to talk about that. You gotta close your browser sometimes.
Yeah, we'll get to that after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Do set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com. It's a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. You get that? It's don't, and then it's do on the copy there. Because we do don't do this.
And do.
And then do this. Very cleverly done. I'm going to start. And usually I try to stay away from these things because everybody makes mistakes.
Yes.
And we obviously make them.
I mean, speak for yourself.
We point them out. We laugh at them. They're going to happen in any line of work.
We do it to ourselves, though. So I always feel fine doing it because we always make fun of ourselves.
And I don't want anyone to get overly offended that we're going to point it out. But I saw it yesterday on social media. It was making the rounds. At someone at the local newspaper, the Union Tribune, made a pretty bad typo, and it came in a headline about Matt, Seidler and his letter, responding to the lawsuit, except instead of Seidler, the headline spelled it Seigler.
Matt Seigler.
Siegler, maybe?
Siegler? The D and the G are very close to each other.
They are. They're two-way on the. I mean, it can happen. Every media outlet has less people than it used to, and then in newspapers used to have probably like 5 people who would triple check that before it went to the press, went to the printer. But now they don't. It's a lot of it's just done and it gets sent, and someone missed it. And you kind of have to laugh. You wish it didn't happen. I'm sure they're all feeling like, oh, that was awful.
It was in such big, bold print, too. It wasn't in, like, the byline. It wasn't in, like, the article.
No.
It was the headline. Yeah. And
Siegler.
And it jumps off the page at you. Now, it's like our radio station. We've never tweeted anything misspelled or inaccurate.
And nowadays, most things are online. You see a misspelling, you just change it, and it's fine. But there still are some printed copies out there, and this one did get out there yesterday. So, Siegler. Jamie Lynn Siegler. Remember,
that's spelled differently, but
The Sopranos.
Yeah, I do remember her.
All right. I know you're excited about this story.
Well, listen, this also, I would imagine, happens to the best of us, but there's a gentleman by the name of Jake Gaydon, and he is sports guy at CBS Sacramento, proud Cronkite ASU alum, and he was doing a little hit yesterday talking about Antonio Pierce, and, he was sitting at his news desk, his sports desk, I guess, and he had kind of turned over to do the front-facing camera shot. And they kind of zoomed out, and on his one of his many, many computer screens was a woman in red lingerie, a very attractive woman. Turns out that it was Rihanna, just right there on his. I mean, as big and as clear as day. There's a picture of Rihanna in some very sexy red lingerie. Oh. So people obviously saw it and said,
"Now this wasn't a personal photo that he had taken."
No. I mean, no. This had been making the rounds. I guess was it an ad? What was it?
She had posted something the other day. She has a clothing line, and it was the Valentine's Day line or whatever. Lingerie.
You might want to pick something up.
Valentine's is around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he probably could have taken that off his screensaver or whatever it was.
I don't think it's a screensaver, Paulie. That's different than an article. It looks like he's on Facebook, maybe, and maybe it just populated the feed.
He wasn't on OnlyFans.
Correct. He wasn't on CornTub.
It was somebody with 150 million plus followers on Instagram posted a picture for her clothing line. Like, she's a major celebrity, and he was looking.
So I've done a couple of these in the past where you sit at your desk and they bring the camera to you. And I will say that I have been pretty careful to okay, what's on my screens? When I know I'm going to be live on television, what's on the background screens? I do think about that.
The first thing I thought about was, all right, if this were Ben, number one, we'd have a lot more fun with it than Jake is having. He's not having fun with it. He doesn't like this. He's been untagging himself in every reference to it. If I had a minute to have his ear, I would say, buddy, this is one you just have to wear. It wasn't porn or anything. It's a woman in lingerie. It was an ad. You got to just lean into it, right? So we would have forced you to lean into it. You would have had zero choice in the matter. But I thought, what would have been on Ben's screen? If it were Ben that was sitting there doing this, it would have been like Brian Dutcher shirtless at the beach, just out with his family at the beach.
Why would I be looking at Brian Dutcher shirtless at the beach?
You tell me.
I mean, I do like Brian Dutcher a lot. But.
Who else? Like what?
JJ
Redick. Steve Kerr.
I think it would mostly be overhead shots of golf courses.
I wonder.
Really sexy golf courses.
Drone videos.
Drone videos of golf courses.
I would like to know how much company time he sucks up over at Channel 10 by scrolling golf course drone shots on YouTube while he's supposed to be working. That is something I would like to monitor.
What's the allowable amount? Like in a regular 8-hour day?
That's a good question.
I mean, I'm sure bosses will say, well, 0. You get your 15-minute break, do what you want. The rest of the time you should be working. We all take little chunks to go and, surf the internet for a few minutes, right?
I do it in the middle of our segments sometimes.
What's the allowable percentage of time that you can be just kind of goofing off and taking your mind off of your work?
Depends on the gig. If you're a surgeon, not much.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Not much.
An astronaut? Probably shouldn't be on your phone.
So, oh my God, you guys see this meme? They're like, bro, we are orbiting the moon right now. Get your S together. I don't know. I mean, when I was in sales,
I mean, I'd say I'm close to 5 to 10% of my day is not that efficient.
I would guess more. I think you're trying to make yourself look better.
All right, fine. 15% of
I'd
my
say
day.
probably 25 to 30%.
I don't think it's that high.
Really?
No, I don't think it's that
Bro,
high.
you have your hits on
Well,
the news.
a lot of what I do is surfing like sports
Right,
on the
you
internet.
have
So
to.
I consider that work. Other people in other jobs, that would be their time off. For me, I consider that part work.
Kevin says, if you get your work done, who cares? I'm with you 100%. If I was your boss, and I'd be like, bro, the minute your work suffers, then we probably got to do a
couldn't
deep
you always
dive.
be doing more work? If you got all my work done
you sound
in
like my
6
wife.
hours, you got 2 more hours, you can get more done for our company.
You can make more calls.
Yeah.
Bro, I worked in you guys have seen the movie Boiler Room. I've told this story before, but if you've seen the movie Boiler Room, I worked in that kind of environment with the earpiece and the phone calls that I had to make on a daily basis. We had a number that we needed to hit. They charted them. I'd see my little squirrel boss sitting at his desk first thing in the morning like this with yesterday's report with a highlighter.
Oh my God.
Highlighting. That's a local call. And I didn't have a local territory. So that's 214 number. And he would do it. Then he'd get his little calculator out and he'd punch it up. All right, Woods, you had 69 dials for 2 hours and 14 minutes yesterday. What the F were you doing all day at work? And you sit there and you're like, I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. Chances are I was looking at Rihanna in lingerie. But this guy's not having fun with it right now at all. He's not.
Lean in.
You got to lean into it, man. You just have to.
Soup Can Harry says 6 hours of work out of 8 is a good day.
That's a real good day.
Now, if it was something more, inappropriate,
Yes.
that I can understand him being absolutely in the blender. Like
100%.
that sucks. You probably lose your job. Like,
Yeah.
that sucks. This was nothing. This was one of the biggest
Stars in the world.
on the planet
In an ad.
on their own ad.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Finally, a little do this.
DD mega
This is
doo-doo.
just a little story. I thought it was unique. Even Reddit calls it mildly interesting. So
Sounds right.
the Indiana Pacers last night set right now an unbreakable NBA
Oh,
record.
I knew you'd like this.
When they put out on the court a lineup of Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, Obi Toppin, Andrew Nembhard, and Thomas Bryant. And the reason why it can never be broken, it was the lowest total of numbers, jersey numbers, ever on the court at the same time. Halliburton 0, Mathurin 00, Toppin 1, Nembhard 2, Thomas Bryant 3. You're not allowed to have a 000 as your number, so that's the lowest. 6 is the lowest combination of uniform numbers you can put on the court at any one time, and they did it.
It's a good bit.
Last night.
Did they start? That was the starting lineup?
They were all. They may have all started. Yeah, I think they did. So there's your lineup of 0, 0, 00, 1, 2, and 3.
And this was the Pacers?
This was the Pacers.
How are
yeah.
they playing this season?
They are, I believe, middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference. If I want to check a look at the standings, your Indiana Pacers Woods are they are 6th in the Eastern Conference, 20-18 right now.
Yeah, they're still in a playoff spot right now. If the season ended today,
Absolutely.
Yeah, 20-18, doing bits though. I like that. It's a good bit.
And that's don't and do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
We got Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports coming up. We're going to preview the college football semifinals that begin tonight. First, though, here's Woods.
Are you heading into this year, or are you already in this new year with the same old joint pain in your knees, your hips, your back, your shoulder, your wrists, which was my case when I went and made the decision to go in and get the treatments at QC Kinetics? You can make the decision now to say, no, I'm not doing this year. I want to feel better. I want to get back to playing golf or riding my bike or surfing or swimming, anything, man, that your pain is keeping you from doing. So get moving again in 2025 with help from QC Kinetics. I went. I did it. It worked for me. I couldn't be happier with the results. So you can also revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics, the future of medicine. They use an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. I've gotten treatment on my knee as well. So if you've got pain in your knees, I'm telling you, this is so good and so effective. Tens of thousands of people with pain have discovered these cellular treatments and are living life again without that constant pain in their joints. So call QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Couple different locations, one in Torrey Hills, one in Hillcrest. Deal with joint pain now. You can make the most of the new year. Get back to doing what you love. 619-614-PAIN. 619-614-PAIN. QC Kinetics at 619-614-PAIN.
All the tier ones, we were talking about how much time are you really allowed to goof off and surf the internet at work without being a bad employee. all the tier ones who said, well, I mean, the first 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours of my day are spent watching Ben and Woods. So hopefully that's okay.
I love you guys for that.
We do.
Sorry to your bosses for sucking out productivity, but it makes me very happy.
I also like Nicholas with a K who says, how many people thought Ben was a guest?
Yeah, that's
guest host today. No, it's just my scratchy voice. I'm just getting over the laryngitis. So we're going to talk some college football right now. Woodsy's wearing his green. For his Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He will be pulling hard for the Golden Dome tonight. It's been way too long since we've been joined by our friend Dennis Dodd for CBS Sports covering college football. Dennis, it's great to have you back on here on San Diego and Ben and Woods. How are you?
Enjoyed it, guys. Yeah, thanks for having me on again. Here in snowy Dallas for the Cotton Bowl.
Dallas,
yeah,
snowy. Wow.
I was talking to some friends. I'm from that area. They said they were off work the next couple of days, going to be hunkered down, stocking up on the bottled waters, on all that stuff that they always do. I grew up in that environment, Dennis. So stay safe out there. Nobody knows how to drive on those roads. Just so you know.
Yeah.
We wanted to kind of start here with you. We had kind of a mini debate on Monday when we came back from the break, and we were talking about my co-host Ben said, yeah, I mean, it's nice to have 12 teams, but the games have all been terrible. I've loved it personally.
No, there was one good game.
There was one good game. I've loved it personally. I mean, I am a Notre Dame fan. If I take those glasses off, though, I really have loved seeing so many teams get their opportunity to, well, some of them get waxed in the playoffs just like they do in the NFL, and it just, I've loved it so far. What are your overarching thoughts?
I'm going to come off as a CFP honk, but I think it's been great. I thought the season was enhanced. I wrote a story on November 1st saying, like, on November 1st, there were literally 45 or 50 teams still in the hunt. And I ran that by the commissioners that modeled this thing. Jack Swarbrick at Notre Dame, Bob Bowlesby, Big 12, Craig Thompson at the Mountain West. They said, yep, that's kind of what we thought it would be. And so how fun has that been? The games meant more. I think on the back end, obviously now we're going to have a champion that didn't win its league. But I think this thing, as it expands, and it will in a couple of years, it's going to be more like the NFL. Do we care that the Super Bowl champion won its division?
No.
It's all about seeding and getting home field. And there's a little bit of that here. Yeah, obviously, you have the first round games. But this has been fantastic. The victory margin, nothing you can do about that. I thought the right teams got in. And as I pointed out after those bad first-round games, in the 20 semifinal games previous in the history of the CSP, this is nothing new. The games are decided by an average of like 17, 18, 19 points. So this is nothing new. It's just a function of the games. Maybe it'll hit a run when they're all close. I don't know.
And to be fair, Dennis, I like the playoff. It's just this one's been bad. Sometimes they just don't, come up with good games. I would
settle down.
I would not guarantee the conference champions the top 4 seeds. I'd do it like the NCAA tournament where you just pick your best 4 teams at the end of the year and make them the top 4 seeds. Ohio State, I think, is the most interesting story. 2 weeks ago, people were talking about firing Ryan Day, possibly. Oh, yeah. And now they seem like they're prohibitive favorites to win the national title. What, in your mind, changed between the Michigan game and the playoffs for Ohio State? And do you think they'll keep it going, or could that, dime flip again in the next couple of games?
Yeah, no, they're the hottest team right now. They've got the 2 best players of the tournament so far. Will Howard, the quarterback, the highest-rated passer in the playoff. Jeremiah Smith, the receiver, who killed Oregon, is probably the MVP at this point. I mean, what happened? I think they have a Michigan problem. I think they're an elite team that could be national champions in any given year, but they've got a Michigan problem. I was at the Michigan game, 13-10. They decided with best receivers in the country, with some of the best running backs in the country, to run the ball in the middle of the line against Michigan's strength, which is their defensive line. To prove a point, right? We're not soft.
Yeah.
We can beat these guys up physically. And before they knew it, they lost 13-10, big fight, embarrassing. What happened was they cleared the decks mentally at a team meeting, I think the next day or that Monday. And, I'm not big on team meetings changing the team's outlook. Whenever I hear a baseball team do that, I go, okay. But this one worked. They all rededicated themselves. They won the first game by 25 over Tennessee. And I think that cleared a mental hurdle to the point that we can do anything we want. Now, did I expect them to beat Oregon? Yes, I did. I picked them. In fact, I picked them to win the whole thing. I didn't expect them to go up 34-0 in boat race Oregon. And I think that's the thing that has come now. They're playing free and easy. Ryan Day, no pressure. The Michigan thing is gone for now, unless he, less than 11 months from now, if he loses the 5th straight to Michigan, that might be a thing. That's why I wrote this week, he ought to go out, win or lose, the next 2 weeks on his own terms. Just say, screw you guys. You can go to the NFL, you can go do TV for a couple of years, but boy, the crap that was laid on him after Michigan, his kids were crying on the field after it. Nobody needs that. Not for $9 million a year. I don't care.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point that you make, and I mean, it's like those coaches sometimes they're brought in to win those games and those games specifically. I think Brian Kelly was a guy that was brought into Notre Dame to win the big games, and Marcus Freeman has won so many more big games than him. How do you handicap tonight's game, Dennis? And I say this as an Irish fan that is. I'm carrying around a little barf bag in my backpack today. I'm as nervous as I've ever been. I believe in the team. I love watching them. They're playing together, but a couple days less to prepare. A little banged up as well. How do you handicap tonight's game?
Yeah, exactly a week since they played. Marcus Freeman right now is one of the best coaches in the country, but he's also a coach who lost to Stanford, Marshall, and Northern Illinois.
Yep.
He's turned that around. They have the nation's longest winning streak. I like Notre Dame because I think that it's hard to nail them down. It's like trying to hold water. They don't do anything great. They're really good defensively. The 11, the back 7 are really good. They have injuries up front. 26 of their 50 points, guys, in the playoffs have come via special teams, and I think that's been a plus for them. Like their longest, they had one touchdown drive in the Georgia game. It was 13 yards. Everything else, a kickoff return, extra points, field goal, there you go, and a good defense. I think that's what's going to play out in this Penn State game. I just think they're on a roll like Ohio State. I love Riley Leonard. What was a criticism against Notre Dame in the past? Didn't have elite athletes on the edge. Didn't have a quarterback. Well, Riley Leonard didn't throw for 100 yards and led them in rushing. But that's about what they need right now because the defense can take care of everything else. So I really like them. I like them to suffocate Penn State tonight, which has probably got the best offense right now in the tournament. They got a pair of guys that have gone for 200 yards total in these 2 games.
Yeah, it's funny watching the Georgia game. You heard the commentator say, well, it looks like Notre Dame finally has some SEC speed. And it was evident. It really was. And some of the guys that have come in to replace some of the injured guys have had monster contributions. And again, the coaching part for me, as a guy that grew up as a fan and I've seen them all come and go, is very, very refreshing to see how hard these guys play for Coach Freeman.
Yeah, there's a guy, one of the examples, this receiver, number 6, Faison.
Faison.
He's their second or third leading receiver in the regular season. But he's been a revelation in the playoffs. I think he's caught 12 balls total, 9 of them for first down. Yep. He's not doing any, zone beaters or anything like that. He's getting the ball and getting first downs. And when you've got a team like that, where in a playoff like this, where every possession means so much, that's important. Now, Jeremiah Love now looks like he's healthy. He touched the flu last week. If they get him going, they're going to be fine. I just like, I don't know, Notre Dame's brutality right now. I think they're going to out-physical Penn State.
Dennis Dodd, CBS Sports. Dennis, enjoy the games. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Dennis, he likes Notre Dame tonight against Penn State. And I want to talk to Woods, though, about something that James Franklin, the head coach at Penn State, brought up yesterday that I knew was going to get under the skin of Notre Dame fans. And we're gonna battle about this because I know we have very different perspectives. But
guess what tired trope it is?
I think you've got the tired trope, actually.
Oh, do I?
We'll get to that after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Crash has been cleared from middle lanes on northbound 805 before El Cajon Boulevard. Everything pushed over to the right shoulder. Looks like you still got that police activity blocking the Civic Center Front Street off-ramp of southbound 5. In the North County, northbound side of the 15 before Mira Mesa Boulevard, we have reports of a stalled pickup truck between the HOV and Fast Lane. And it's been a while since I talked about a ladder in lanes. We've got one on the coastline south on 5 at Mission Avenue. Can't say which lane, but just watch out for it if you're traveling through that area. But South 5 Mission Avenue. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So yesterday when they were having the coaches news conference for the Notre Dame-Penn State game, James Franklin, the coach of the Nittany Lions, was just kind of riffing about, hey, it's great to be here in the semifinals representing our schools and our conferences. And then he kind of caught himself and he looked at Marcus Freeman, the coach of Notre Dame, and he goes, our conference, excuse me. And they followed up on that. And, obviously the implication was, Notre Dame is still an independent. They don't play in a conference. And James Franklin went out to lay down the argument that I do agree with, that, and listen to me, Woods, because I know you're going to push back, but in the modern game of college football, if you're going to do a playoff, if you're going to guarantee conference champions a spot in that playoff, you really need to put all the teams in more of a level way of how they operate the season. You can't just have a team that just does its own thing and then you try to integrate them at the end. It doesn't work anymore for Notre Dame just to have their own schedule.
It's literally working.
You're
literally watching it
really
work.
Working.
You're watching it work. They're one of the last 4 teams. They can, by the way, they can never have a bye. Ever. They never get a bye.
I'm not saying that it's necessarily going to work against Notre Dame. It might work. It might work for them. It might work against them. If they had lost another game, a close one,
they're out. That's the risk.
But they might still have been one of the top 12 teams in the country, and had they been in a conference, they would have had a chance to still win their conference championship and get in.
But that's the risk that they are capable of taking. It sounds very sour grapes to say you have to do it like we do it, when in fact they've proven they don't. They absolutely do not. Okay, conference champions, so important. How did Ohio State do in their conference championship? They didn't play it. They didn't play one. They shouldn't be there? Like they have to play an extra game. They can never get a bye. How did the conference
champion do in the playoffs?
Right.
They lost.
They lost.
It's also, and the schedule that Notre Dame plays, it makes it very hard to, even you didn't know how good Notre Dame was.
No, God, no. But
because they didn't play a comparable schedule to anybody else. When you play whether it's an SEC, a Big Ten, or even an ACC schedule, you can look and see, okay, they've all played the same teams over the year, and here's how they all did, and there's a frame of reference. When you play just a random schedule, sometimes the teams you'll play will be good,
right?
But sometimes, USC sucks this year.
That's the risk.
Syracuse sucks this year. Then,
but
we have no idea if they're any good or not.
That's the risk they take, and again, it's not for everyone. Well, actually, any team, they're not doing anything that any other team couldn't do. They're not doing what Penn State did for many, many years until they finally said, we're not good enough. We have to join this conference.
That was 1992 that they joined the Big Ten finally.
We have to do it. We have to. They can't support themselves. Now, the risk they run, Ben, is if the program does go really, really south, the money dries up, the TV deal goes away, and then, maybe they have not been pushed to that yet.
Ultimately, I think it goes beyond just Notre Dame, though. I don't want to pick on Notre Dame. But when you operate a season in a playoff, like NFL teams don't get to just make up their own schedule. Major League Baseball teams don't just get to make up their own schedule. It's codified who you're going to play. It's just a much more fair way to establish it. And that's the same thing with college basketball. Part of the game. Dutcher's good at it. Certain coach, Saban, seemed to work the system pretty well. He knew exactly how many tough opponents and cream puffs he could schedule through the year. But it really shouldn't be up to the coaches to game the system every year with their schedule. Someone like the NCAA, College Football Playoff, there should be a governing body and just goes, here's your schedule, like they do in Major League Baseball, like they do in the NFL, in the NBA. Someone hands you the schedule, and then you play the schedule you're handed. It's not about crafting your schedule in a way that's going to look good to a committee at the end of the season. But
they're and I know you like things in a nice, neat package, but let me tell you, if you were a fan of a school that could pull this off, you'd be a fan of it, just like I am. You get the $14 million for making this. You don't have to whack it up with your conference buddies. You don't. And who doesn't like that? If you're a fan of that school, who doesn't want that? Would you like the Aztecs to be in that position? Yes. Of course you would. You'd be beating your chest if Aztecs basketball were like, no, we don't have to do this. We got all this money coming in. We don't have to share it with anybody. We don't. And so,
but again, how is that any different than the Dodgers having a giant TV deal and the Padres having no TV deal?
It's really not.
It shouldn't be that way, though. We don't like it in baseball. We shouldn't like it in college football either, where certain teams have massive TV deals and other schools are barely scraping by. There should be more of a level playing field for everybody.
So you're telling me that it's not a level playing field?
Financially, no, it's
because
not.
They don't have to. Okay, think about it. How many teams in the SEC, for example, how many teams, Benny, paid their players? How many SEC teams have huge collectives? That's not fair to SDSU, but it is the way that it is because it's the SEC. It just means more in the SEC, Ben. I guess the point. Look, a nice, tidy, to get this talking point off of the table would be great. But until you have to do it, why do it?
I think ultimately we've gotten to the point where the NFL is the only league that I think really puts everybody on an equal playing field with a salary cap, with a national TV deal that's shared with everybody. Yeah. It comes down the teams that are the smartest, that hire the best, that draft the best, that develop the best, that coach the best, and have the best players win. And I can't say that about college football.
Could you ever?
No,
never.
But
I
would like it to be more that way.
If Notre Dame joins the ACC, you know what will happen then? Oh, the old overhyped Notre Dame. They're playing a weak ACC schedule, which happens to be down that year.
Let's join the Big Ten.
They schedule these games years and years and years in advance. And I think, you didn't know USC was going to be terrible this year. You didn't know Miami was going to drop out. You didn't know FSU was going to be
And again, you shouldn't have to schedule games. I mean, the Aztecs have a game against, Kansas scheduled in 2035. You shouldn't have to do that. You should have someone who hands you the schedule at the beginning of the year. Here's who you play. We've determined a pretty fair schedule.
So you hate all
Here's
tradition and rivalries then?
There is no more tradition in college football. You're deluding yourself.
No.
It's over. NIL.
It's not.
It's over.
It's not over.
It's just a business like the rest of sports.
Okay, you say with NIL. You've been making this tired argument probably for 40 years since you were aware of college football. Notre Dame needs to join a conference. Okay, my question to you is, why? If you don't have to do it, why would you do it? There's no reason other than to make the masses happy. If you can run that like they do and still be where they are tonight, why would you?
All right, what if every school decided, hey, you know what, we don't want a conference?
The Wild West,
just
baby.
The Wild West. Nothing but independence.
Is it not now when you have teams and
Yeah, it might as well be.
It might as well
Everyone
be.
get your own TV deals, your own schedules every single year.
But the conference champion thing is like, all right, well, Ohio State's probably going to win the national championship. They didn't win they didn't play in a conference.
I don't even love conference championships. Get rid of them. Play your conference regular season winner, and then
fine by me.
The committee puts in the best teams like they do in the NCAA tournament. I'd be fine with that.
I'm fine with it. Well, I know where your allegiance lies tonight.
I'm actually not against Notre Dame.
It's hard to not like Marcus
I don't love
Freeman.
Penn State either.
I don't either. Never have.
All right, we'll find out tonight who emerges. Either way, the first black head coach will ever make it to a national championship
That's right.
game. Whoever wins this game tonight. All right, we'll come back. We've got a pro golfer. We've got real or fake, all coming up in our 8 o'clock hour on the Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Thursday, January 9th, 2025. You're listening to Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. You're also watching on YouTube. If you like to watch the YouTube feed, please just subscribe. You don't have to pay anything. Just subscribe to the channel. Want to get that the YouTube number up for sure. I don't know why, just for my ego, I guess, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'd like to see 5
Oh, you'll be
figures
graded
there.
on it at the end of the year.
I won't
Your
be. That's the
YouTube
funny
number.
thing. I mean, we agonized over the decision to even do YouTube a couple years ago, and I'm so glad we did. It definitely adds a little spice to the program. It's not great when you don't like look your best or like feel your best, but you know, we still do it, and you get to see a little behind the scenes every day. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer of the program. He's the one that prodded and poked me into doing YouTube. I was the last one to say, okay, fine, let's do it. Ben Higgins, he's a pretty amiable guy, just kind of goes along with whatever we ask. And you said, yeah, whatever, just let me know what I need to do.
That is me, isn't it?
That is you.
All
You're
right,
very
whatever,
amiable.
Whatever you want, let's do it.
Hey, I want this tonight. Can we go get pizza tonight? No, we're getting Chinese. All right, let's get
All right,
Chinese.
that's fine.
Have you started scouting out? We'll be at Fantasy Camp next week. You started scouting out any restaurants that you'd like to hit while we're out there?
So, yeah, we're staying a little bit south of where we usually do.
Yeah, a little bit.
So we're a little closer to Glendale and State Farm Stadium.
Or State Fart
Right.
Stadium, as you called it in the
Which,
past.
I mean, you already have the highest concentration of chain restaurants pretty much on planet Earth.
On the planet.
In that Peoria-Glendale corridor. The closer you get to State Farm, it even ups the ante. I mean, you're right there.
Is it? There's more?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, right by the
It's
stadium,
like a whole
obviously.
entertainment district, I think.
I think
Yeah.
there's a gentleman's club over there.
You know what they also have that I haven't done yet? There's the Top Golf, which
Top
is
Golf's there.
right across the freeway, but they now have a Pop Stroke, which is Tiger Woods' version of mini golf.
Not what
I
I
have
would
no interest in that.
That's not what you thought Pop Stroke was going to be.
Can I just say it? I'll say it.
What?
Mini golf sucks. It sucks. It sucks. I've had to do it again because my kids like it. I hate it. I'm over it.
I
It's the
loved doing
dumbest.
miniature golf.
I hate
when
it.
I was a kid.
I hate it now so much.
Yeah, I think I'd still rather today. I would rather go play mini golf than a simulator.
Oh no, simulators are great.
Hitting into a screen does nothing for me, entertainment wise. Now look, totally different if you've got all the high tech cameras. You're actually trying to like work on your swing. Or
Yeah,
something.
you have to
I'm
do it.
talking about. Oh, I'd like to play, St. Andrews today. And you're not. That's not. It's not the same.
It's like you're there.
Yeah, right.
It's not exactly like you're there, but it's probably the only way you'll get to play a lot of these courses in
You're
your
not
life.
playing the course.
Have a chance to like see what it would be like to stand over that shot.
It's not though. It's not what it's like. You're in a room, not standing. You're not in the bogs of Scotland.
The fens of Scotland.
I'm playing Torrey.
Amidst the gorse.
You guys are actually playing Torrey Pines today.
A true major championship
real
test.
course.
The real
Yeah.
thing.
Well, it's
Not
better.
on a
I'm not
screen.
saying it isn't better, but
Yeah, Dub says unless it's like the TGL, that is you're hitting off grass out of the sand. That's legit. That is like the most legit simulator you
well,
can
I
do.
still don't. So, what don't you like about mini golf?
Oh, I just hate it.
I mean, give me a reason. I just hate it is not a reason.
All right, all right. Here's a bunch.
Is it because
I hate the putters, the little stupid orange putter, and you're not gonna bring your own putter. to mini golf.
no,
your
but
door.
that's part of the
You
game.
bring your own clubs to a simulator. Bring your own putter to the.
It's
putt-putt.
part of the
Absolutely
game.
not.
No, even I don't do that. If I don't do it, no one does it.
I hate the stupid little things you have to bank it. And on no planet where you making a putt where you have to bank it off of something else to get it in the hole. It's the dumbest.
It's testing your knowledge of physics and angles.
Also,
And-
here's another reason: my kids don't take it seriously. They whack it, especially
Oh, okay.
Bo
Well,
does.
that's
Taylor does. He
frustrating,
hits
yeah.
it, and then he hits it again, and it's rolling, and he's scooping it along.
I mean, I take it seriously when I keep score. Like if it bounces off, that's a penalty, and you got to re-tee it if it goes outside
Yeah,
of the
I hate it.
the hole. I mean, there is a max number. Sometimes you just can't get it through that windmill thing.
You're like, just pick it up.
yeah,
just pick
there's
it
a
up.
max. You got to have a max. Some holes are just undoable. for
Michael
people.
says I hate it because I'm bad at it. No, I love golf, and I'm horrific at golf, and I love golf.
There's nothing more satisfying than when you have that hole that has like the 3 different levels. And
Have you ever had intercourse? That's way more satisfying than that.
You knock it in the first hole, and it rolls through the tube, and then it goes onto the second green, and it bounces, and it goes into the second hole. And then it goes down the tube again, and it bounces into the third green, and it deflects, and it goes right into the hole for a hole-in-one. Are you telling me that's not an amazing, amazing feeling?
That's what I'm telling you. It's designed for that to happen. You knock it in, and then it rolls down the tube.
Yeah.
I hate it. I've never liked it. I've taken the kids many times. We were in Hawaii. They're like, we drove past one, and I was hoping, oh, God, don't see it. Don't see it. Don't see it. Dad, mini golf. I'm like, mother. And so the next day, had to go, whack it around the course. It was just, I don't like it. So Tiger Woods has a real mini golf
franchise. It's called Pop Stroke, yeah.
So,
but it's not clowns necessarily. It's a little more grown up. It's like, you order cocktails, and you go out and you play the 18 holes, and
That's the one that they just opened one in Vegas?
Yeah, it's Vegas, it's Arizona, they've got a Florida, he's got a few of them. Pop Stroke.
No, I like Top Golf. I always have fun when I go to Top Golf. That's a really fun scene. But man,
Top Golf's fun. I don't like, again though, I don't like when you can play the course simulators there, and you're like, what am I supposed to putt you just tap the ball
putting
over
is impossible.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I like the games that where you're like, okay, you got to get the targets and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm more likely to play on a simulator, or the virtual golf is fun to me. It's fine, but putt is now. I'm taking the kids to Kiss mini golf in Vegas when we go. They have a Kiss. They have a Kiss. So that I want to see because I love Kiss. But yeah, man, I just kind of over it. God, my kids love it. So
it's like an hour of entertainment for your kids. Like JJ says, quote Woods, you know what I hate? Kids having fun playing mini golf.
Yeah, I'm with you. I get it, dude.
I mean, it's pretty easy fun. The rules are very established. You know what to do. They're there.
They don't know what to do.
They can't get out. It's usually enclosed. It's a fairly benign form of entertainment for your children.
I just don't like it. Well, all right, fine. So just because, all right, we're going as a show. I don't want to play mini golf on the trip, even if it's Tiger Woods' Pop Stroke mini golf. Let's pass on
I kind of do.
Find another restaurant,
but I want to go with you. It would be more fun.
I don't want
to compete against each other.
You're going there for us. I guess I'll go play mini golf with you, like we're 12 or 10. Do they have go-karts there? Because if it's a mini golf place that has go-karts, I'm in on.
Batting cages,
go-karts. Yeah. Now that I'm all about.
Bumper boats.
Kurt says, what about bowling? I'll say this. Not as fun as I remembered. Went recently. Didn't have as much fun as I remembered it being when I was a kid. Maybe I just hate stuff now.
Bowling. I couldn't tell you the last time
it
I went
hurts.
to a bowling alley.
Bowling isn't meant to be fun. Bowling is a sport.
It's meant to be
a
challenge.
Sport.
It is
it's a challenging sport.
It kind of shocks me sometimes when I drive past bowling alleys still, and I go, those are still a thing.
Still doing the bowling thing,
okay.
Huh?
I understand the bowling industry wants to make money, so they try to tell you, come out, and it's fun. You're rolling an extremely heavy ball over and over and over again. If you don't know how to bowl, bowling's not fun.
I damn near tore my groin in half the last time I went too. So
bowling is work. I like bowling because I'm not good at it, but I can.
You're tired.
Yeah,
you're tired
at the end.
And the next day, you're like,
oh
my God, I am dying.
I mean, I've always wanted to be the guy who could bowl a 200. I've never bowled a 200 before.
No, me neither. I think I have 180.
Yeah, something in the 160 to 70 range. But
can you spin
not
it?
really.
I tried.
Pretty straight thrower.
I tried last time we went. I spun it a little bit, but I couldn't get the good. Now again, maybe if I was better at it, I would I don't know.
I aim it pretty well, so I can pick up a lot of spares, but I don't get a ton of strikes because I can't do the spin that causes them all to knock down.
I always throw it too hard too, way too hard instead of trying to finesse it.
I mean, there's no better feeling when you throw it really hard and they just explode. Oh yeah.
It's a bit of a throwback. We used to play a game called Has Been Ever.
Yes, Has Been Ever.
Ask you questions, and I'm just curious, Ben, has Ben ever had his own bowling ball?
I have not had my own bowling ball.
I haven't either.
There's a part
my
of
buddy Scott had his own.
I could see a young Ben Higgins with the
bag
purse.
Oh,
the
big
bowling ball bag, reinforced.
It was such a big thing back in the 80s. Like a lot of dads were in bowling league. Maybe they still are. I have no idea.
I have small hands, so I've got to find. I want a heavier ball because I'm strong enough for a heavier ball.
Yes,
but I need the kind of the kid sort of sized fingers, on that ball. They don't match. It's hard to find one because it's
a big heavy ball with the tiny little holes.
Yeah, with the tiny little kid fingers. It's not a.
Do you have little sausage fingers? I haven't noticed.
Pretty small. It's not an easy combination to find. I'm always sitting there going through like 15 balls on the racks before I find the one that actually fits my hand.
Bowling alleys, they were a staple for like birthday parties growing up.
100%.
And they were fun.
Yeah.
But then I hadn't been to one for 5 to 10 years before the pandemic, but then when the pandemic happened, I was like, I could probably, no kids, could probably safely say never go
Maybe
to a
we'll
bowling
never
alley
bowl
ever
again. Yeah,
Probably
the little
not.
doo-doo fingers in there all the day, and then
I
you're
don't
grabbing
see me
them.
and my wife
Those
going to
shoes,
bowling.
those shoes.
It's fine. They spray it.
Sure they do. You tell me they
So,
spray
you
each
see
hole.
them spraying
What about
it.
the holes?
I'm sure they
do.
do.
They clean the holes?
No.
I
So
doubt
they
it.
Stick
spray
your hand
them.
in there, and then you're grabbing some fries, and you're sticking them
Magic-
in your mouth, and then you're putting your finger
Magic
back in the...
disinfectant
Sucking down a
spray.
hot wing, then grabbing your bowling ball that some kid scratched his ass and put his hands in. Forget it. I'm over it. The shoes. Why do I have to change my shoes? For
You'll
what?
You'll scuff the
With my
wood.
tennis shoes?
Yes.
These
Yes.
tennis shoes will scuff.
And you want to be able to slide just a little bit as you're going. You don't want traction. You need bowling shoes.
Whatever. Fine. All right. I'll make a deal with you. Explicit for pop stroke.
Fine.
Shake on it. So decreed.
Do we have time for all of this?
We're going to run it back. I don't
A
know. We'll
busy
make
schedule,
time.
but-
We'll make time.
I've got work to do that night. I don't know what night it is, but I'll
Pop stroke
I'll
night
have
or
work to
explicit
do.
night?
Me and Ben playing putt-putt against each other. He'll be so competitive,
they're
too.
fairly close to each other. We could probably do them
Do
both,
them
in
both
the
in
same
one night.
Yeah.
All right. It'll be the first time that's
Great.
happened. For sure. I promise you. That's the first combo of
That's
that.
miniature golf.
What's first?
The Gentlemen's Club's
I
near
think miniature golf is the appetizer. I
Okay.
would think.
All right.
I would imagine.
The Gentlemen's Club's near the stadium.
Yeah,
it is.
So I can only imagine they're all always like,
And-
"Oh, did you
and-
guys go to the Cardinals game this?"
No, we were at Pop Stroke,
No.
just mini golfing it up. Ben
Yeah.
shot a
Putt.
4 under at Pop Stroke today.
All right. When we come back, Throwback Thursday, it's your chance to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas. They have a pop stroke there.
They do.
With Real or Fake. You don't even need to take on Woods today. 833-288-0973. And the Padres made another move yesterday. You might have missed it. We'll let you know coming up after a check of traffic. Right now, though, I want to tell you about stfatloss.com and my journey to lose 40 pounds in 60 days. Do what I did. Make the call, a new you in a new year. Lose up to a pound of fat per day and 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. As an extra incentive, right now you can take advantage of their New Year special. Get $200 off the program now through January 31st. I can't tell you how much better I feel. My back pain has pretty much disappeared. My knee pain is gone. Losing weight has changed my life. I sleep better. I don't snore anymore. You look better in your clothes. You know all the reasons why you've wanted to lose weight. This is the way to do it because it's a sustainable plan that's based on real food. So you just kind of moving into the maintenance phase is so much easier. I've lost weight before. I always gained it back. So far, so good. I've kept all my 40 pounds plus off over the last year and a half. You can as well. Just set up your free consultation by going to sdfatloss.com. You're going to love the people you meet. Great counselors, really supportive people who want you to be successful and will figure it out. If it's not working for you, they will figure it out and get you on track to losing up to a pound of fat per day. Go to sdfatloss.com, schedule your free consultation again. Take advantage of the $200 off special now through January 31st at sdfatloss.com.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Got Real or Fake coming up in just a couple of minutes. Chance to win a getaway to Las Vegas. First, though, Padres did make a move yesterday, and Woodsy is going to tell us everything he knows right now about Jake Higginbotham, the newest Padre. What's
left-handed pitcher?
Correct. Is that all?
That's it.
That's what you got?
Left-handed pitcher. 28.
There we go. There's two facts. I can give you one more.
I was going to say 6, but 8.
He was in the Tigers organization last year.
All
Had
right.
a decent season at Double-A.
Okay.
But, they didn't call him up or anything.
Is he a starter or reliever?
I don't know. I've exhausted my knowledge
That's good
of
research
Jake
on the flagship. fellas.
Higginbotham. His name also begins with the same first 6 letters as my last
So
name.
you guys have an N. You have an N when you talk to him.
Higgin.
Hello, Higginbotham.
So he replaces. He's the new Higgy.
He's the new
Now
Higgy.
that Kyle Higashioka
Every
is gone,
team needs one.
Jake Higginbotham is the new Higgy for the San Diego Padres.
Let me know when we sign Mike Reindl Botham.
So, I don't know. When I was a kid, there was another kid in school, and his last name was Higginbotham, and I always thought that was kind of funny because my name was Higgins and his name was Higginbotham.
That is hysterical.
Which seemed like a funny sounding name to like an 8-year-old, like Higginbotham.
Higginbotham.
Higginbotham. That's a funny sounding name.
Hey, I'm looking. He looks like he started 2 games last season, saved 3 games, so using him in a couple of different spots in Double-A. Yeah, I mean, struck out 78 batters in 62 innings.
All right.
That's pretty good.
Over a batter per inning.
Yep.
That's good.
Opponent average 254. His whip was 120. So, all right. Yeah, I mean, lefty out of the bullpen. I don't know his is he? What does he top out at? Is he 94 from the left side? Is he 98
Sounds
from
good.
the left guy? Like, I have no idea, but we'll maybe.
Hey, you know what? If we don't know, let's make it up.
So, yeah, he comes at you. He's got a funky arm angle as a lefty. Throws a really nasty slider.
He can touch 97,
Yeah.
but usually sits
Sits
more
around
in the
95,
90,
96.
93, 95
Made it up.
range.
Just literally just made it up.
Good secondary slider, although he's working on a changeup right now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, get him in with Ruben and see what he can do, and you learn that what's that the sweeper. Learn that sweeper and get after it.
Have Jeremiah Estrada teach him the chitter.
The chitter.
Yeah.
And another word you need to be careful with.
We got options.
Yep.
All right, let's play a little real or fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
All right, here's what we're playing for. Qualifying for our grand prize drawing two-night getaway to Planet Hollywood, Las Vegas. 2 tickets to see the Scorpions and a $100 gas card. Scorpions are back. 60 years of the Scorpions, their Las Vegas residency show live February 27th to March 11th at PH Live at Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. And I believe Peter has called in. Peter, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. All right. All you have to do is get 4 of 7 correct in our game of real or fake, and we'll put you into the drawing. Now, I saw some people who might be disappointed. I didn't go with the wrestling names because I saw it today on Paulie's Rundown that today is National Word Nerd Day.
Word nerd.
It's a day to celebrate the weird and wonderful English language.
Okay.
So we're going to channel our inner incorporators today in real or fake. I'm going to give you a funny-sounding word. All you have to tell me if it's real or fake, a real English language word or not. I have the definitions of the real ones. Woods, an English major, no less, is here to help you, Peter, if you would like any assistance. Are you ready to play?
Yeah, so I was going to say, I think Woods went for English, no?
Do what?
Woods went for English to school, no?
Yeah, he's an English major.
I got a
Yep.
degree
All right.
and everything.
You ready? All right, here we go.
All
Round
right,
number
we got this
1.
one.
All right, let's
Real
go.
or fake word? Xylocarp. Xylocarp. Real or fake? If you need a spelling, I can give them to you.
Sure. I'm missing the end of it.
Xylocarp. Xylocarp.
Xylocarp.
Woods, what do you think?
My initial reaction is real.
He thinks real.
Yeah.
Peter, what's your answer?
Yeah, I think we'll go with real.
It is real.
Yes. What does it mean?
Hard and
Oh,
woody
yeah.
fruit.
Hard
Xylocarp.
and woody fruit.
Yeah,
like
xylocarp.
what? Oh, it's a
I think it's
type
its own
of
thing.
fruit.
Yeah, it's a xylocarp.
Like
Somebody
so.
gets it in.
Put it in your basket with your apples. That's your xylocarp. All right, round number 2. Plinthify.
Plimpify?
Plinthify. I'm sorry, my
Plinthify.
voice. Plinthify. Plinthify.
I'm thinking fake. What do you think, Woods?
I think fake as well. Plinthify sounds made
Yeah.
up.
Fake.
Fake is right.
Yes.
We're off to a good start
Wow,
here. That's
here
2
we
for
go.
2. All you need is 2 more, and you will win our game. All right, here we go. Round number 3. Octothorpe. Octothorpe.
Octothorpe.
Octothorpe. Octothorpe.
Sounds like it was probably used in a movie, like Transformers or
It
something.
does, yeah. Octothorpe.
Woodsy?
Real.
He's out. You just
yeah, I
switched
wanna-
it up, huh?
I want to say real because I want it to be a real word.
All right. It is real.
3 for 3, buddy.
An octothorpe is the actual name for the pound sign or hashtag.
Wow.
That
No
like
kidding.
little crossword thing. It's an octothorpe.
I'm going to say that from now on.
Octothorpe.
Yep. Octothorpe Ben and Woods on Twitter.
Hashtag.
Yeah. Octothorpe.
All right. All we need is 1 more. You can't blow this, can you? All right. Round number 4.
I don't think so.
Gentacular. Gentacular.
God, that sounds so...
I feel like I've heard that word. Woods.
I feel like that too, and it feels like it's so real that it might be fake, but let's go with our gut.
and we
real.
have 4 chances left.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Okay.
So
Real.
what was
Let's go with. You said real.
I said
Woods?
real, yeah.
Okay. Let's go with real.
Real for the win. You got
Bring
it.
mother.
Oh, wow. That was easy. I think that was an incorporated word
That
once.
was.
Yeah.
Gentacular, pertaining to breakfast.
Gentacular. Yes, that was an incorporated word.
Very good. Peter, stay on the line. Paulie will get your information. Woods?
Give me the rest.
Hallux.
Hallux?
Hallux.
Fake.
No, that's your big toe. Your
Really?
hallux. Cafoy.
Real.
It is. That's a velvety fabric. Trundle puff.
Fake.
Fake. Yeah. Very good. You guys played well. Good game of real or fake to start the season. All right. We will come back. Willie Mack III is a pro golfer. He's going to be playing in the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines, and he's got a different path to professional golf than most of the guys like Justin Thomas.
Oh, yeah.
And Patrick Cantlay that you see on tour. And
What
we're going
a
to chat with
story.
him coming up next here on Ben and Woods. First, though, Woodsy for Lone Pronto.
Yes, my friends, if you are a homeowner right now, you're going to want to listen up, because if you've amassed any sort of credit card debt, Lone Pronto is certainly here to help. They want to help get you out of that debt. If you got high interest debt weighing you down, pay it all off in days thanks to Lone Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. If you're a homeowner, again, hassle-free way to cash out your home's equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Their all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as a day. Again, a client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers, get cash to consolidate all your debt. Get a fresh start for the new year. Call Lone Pronto today, see how much you qualify for. This time next week, you can be credit card, debt-free, 2025, baby. Don't wait. Get your cash fast, 619-207-4336, or go to loanpronto.com, 619-207-4336, or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Always one of my favorite times of the year. We're just a couple of weeks away from the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. It begins Wednesday, January 22nd. Again, a Saturday finish again this year on January 25th. Tickets are on sale now at farmersinsuranceopen.com. Now, they've gotten some commitments from some of the top players in the world, including last week's winner, Hideki Matsuyama, who won the Century at Kapalua. I know that Colin Morikawa is going to be there as well, and a bunch of other great professional golfers. But it's also some of the stories of the golfers you don't know that makes the event compelling for me. And joining us right now is one of the guys who's going to be in the field for the tournament this year. His name is Willie Mack III, and he's got a story that I would say is atypical of your PGA Tour and professional golfer. Willie, it's good to have you on with Ben and Woods in San Diego this morning. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks.
It's good to have you on, and it's one of the things we like to kind of celebrate on this program, Willie, is people that play the game for the love of the game, and I know that that is you to a T, and a little bit about your story for our audience out there. When you were kind of getting started, it's rough going out there. Explain to the fans out there how you kind of have to fund your way from tournament to tournament, and what actually happened to you when you started out your golf career.
Yeah, golf is expensive. So coming out of college, I didn't go to a big college, so I didn't have a lot of boosters helping me out. So just kind of had to do it on my own. Me and my dad started with a couple $100 and kind of just played my way that first year into professional golf. But just having great sponsors like Farmers Insurance helping me out, I think I wouldn't have got this far without them.
And so there was a time, though, Willie, when you actually would have to play golf tournaments and then sleep in your car. Our friend Matt Janella did a web series last year about some guys that were,
the grind.
The grind, yeah. They would have, and that's what it is. It's a grind. They would have to share rooms and share rental cars and share everything. But you had to actually play a golf tournament and then go and sleep in your car before you went to the next tournament. I wanted to ask you the question. I don't want to say a normal person, but most people would have said, all right, I mean, this is too much for me. What was it about the game that made you wanted to keep going back, and you would go to that lengths to play?
Yeah, it was some dark times that year that I did that. Luckily, I had some friends that helped me out along the way. But I guess my dad always told me not to ever give up, so I think that I always had that in the back of my head, and I still think that to this day. So I think just having him in the back of my head saying that on those long bad nights, I think got me through those times.
Now you've won some on the Advocates Tour. You got to play on some of the developmental tours, including the Korn Ferry Tour and a few PGA Tour starts. But I want to ask you last year about qualifying for the U.S. Open, and Woods, you had to win a 3-man playoff in the final qualifying stage to get there. What was that experience like? Obviously, we're watching on TV, Pinehurst, North Carolina, and what happened to Bryson at the end. But what was your experience like getting to play in a major championship?
Yeah, it was special. My first major, I had my brother on the back, so it was kind of a family affair for both of us. But I played well that first day. I think I was in third or fourth place for most of the first round. And then second day I had the last tee time, and greens got hard and bumpy and got windy. So it wasn't the outcome I wanted, but I'm glad I had that experience, and hopefully it'll help me in a week and a half.
waiting around all day to be one of the last tee times is, I mean, it's got to be a pretty excruciating time for you. But again, I think some of your preparation was molded by, I was reading this article about you, and it said, you did not want to go back and, you were sleeping out of your car. So it kind of forced you to go out and practice more because you're like, well, I mean, my other alternative is to go sit in my Mustang and fall asleep. Sure. So you're out there kind of living that grind every day and working harder on your game. And how do you feel about how your game's looking right now?
Yeah, sometimes I actually think back on those times to get myself up. When it's kind of hard to go to the course if it's cold or raining. So I think it was a life lesson that I still contribute to today. But the game is great. I'm out here at Torrey Pines now trying to get some practice rounds and do media day. So hopefully I can get some good preparation and be ready for the tournament time.
And that's a little bit different than the last time you played in the Farmers. We're talking to Willie Mack III. He's a pro golfer. You did play in 2021, but you were like a last-minute alternate, so you didn't get a chance to see the course and prep. How do you feel like it'll be different this time around, perhaps, with a little bit of experience and a little time to get yourself ready for not the one, but two courses that you have to play at Torrey Pines?
Yeah, last time it was just an unfortunate situation, but my name got called and I had to go out and play. But this time I'm more prepared. Game is a lot better, and I'm just excited to have this opportunity to come out here for the second time and try to play well for not only Farmers but APGA Tour and my family.
All right, last thing, curious. I mean, I'd imagine, watching Tiger Woods growing up, that he was a big influence on you, like he is on most golfers. Did you watch any of his TGL this week at that simulator, and what'd you think?
Yeah, I actually was in a dress rehearsal a couple times, so I played it before they actually.
Oh, you did?
Nice.
Oh, what was it like?
The chipping and putting is super hard. I don't think you can really tell on TV.
You could tell. I actually could. Just watching Xander leave chips short.
Yeah,
8 feet
short. Like Xander did not going to do that.
Insane.
Yeah, so the hitting part into the simulator is pretty cool. It's a lot easier than the other side. And then, I mean, you get 40 seconds, and it kind of starts whenever. So you don't have that much time to look at putts and do other things. So hopefully it turns out well. It was a good first showing the other day. I did watch it, and hopefully when Tiger plays, it'll be a lot better.
Well, Willie, best of luck to you and the Farmers. Paulie and I are going to be heading out to the course after the show, so hopefully we'll see you out there at the media day, but really appreciated a chance to get to know you a little bit this morning.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you for having me on.
Hit some fairways out there.
Yeah, you don't want to be in the
man.
rough. He knows that.
Right.
It's terrible.
Yeah, Torrey Pines. Willie Mack III, a professional golfer with a unique story, one of the guys you'll be able to see at the Farmers Insurance Open, January 22nd through the 25th. Again, tickets available at farmersinsuranceopen.com with Matthew Pavon as your defending champion this year.
Sleeping in your car to play the game of golf. Sleeping in your car sucks, even if it's for 20 minutes. Like living out of your car and driving from tournament to tournament is, I mean, you really got to love the game.
It is. He mentioned it is so expensive. If you're not on the PGA Tour, even if you're on the second tour, the Korn Ferry, none of those guys really make money.
No,
they're trying to minimize the amount of money they lose every year in the hope that they'll get to the PGA Tour where then they can actually make the big money. But other than that, other than the PGA Tour, there's no way to really make money as a professional golfer. No. It's just about the dream and hoping you can get there. Kind of like minor league baseball.
Oh,
man. You're living in probably, 6 guys in a house or, in a guest house somewhere.
Yeah, for some,
And making, very little, but all with the dream of, hey, if I get to the show and all of a sudden the minimum salary is $700 and something thousand, I'm set. This is it. But if you don't get there, you're making $25,000 maybe a year in the minor leagues. It's not a glamorous lifestyle.
That's the and Keeping It Real says it's for the love of the game, and you wonder how much you could put yourself through to do that. And it's I've talked about it before, but it's part of the reason I love the NLL. the Seals and the entire league, none of those guys make a ton of money. And you watch how they play for the money they make, and you go, well, these two things don't correlate, right? You don't see, like, they play so hard every single night, and it's because they love the game of lacrosse. That's why they do it. Some of these guys, Benny, in the league play for 20 years because they love it. And then on the weekends, they go fight fires in Vancouver or Saskatchewan, or they are salespeople, and this rigorous travel, practice, and then the games are so brutal, and they're doing it just because they love the game. It's my favorite part about being around that team.
So I said yesterday that I believe Kyle Higashioka was the only 2024 Padre who had actually signed a free agent contract with another team. That is no longer true after yesterday. We can get into the moves and why today is actually a pretty important day in the offseason for the Padres and every other Major League Baseball team, and we'll do that after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. All right, congratulations to former Padre now, Martin Perez, who signed with the Chicago White Sox yesterday. Not a huge deal. It's reportedly a $3.5 million salary for next season with a $1.5 million buyout. So he's guaranteed at least $5 million if it's just the one season with the Chicago White Sox. Of course, Perez came over at the trade deadline and was a pretty important member of the Padres' starting rotation, a good fifth man in August and September. Did not pitch in the postseason for the San Diego Padres, but he did what they needed him to do last year as part of that rotation. Guy who's always going to have, around a 4 ERA and doesn't throw hard, but, pretty crafty and knows how to pitch and did a good job for the Padres last season.
Yeah, he did, man. I enjoyed watching Martin pitch. And, I of course, the immediate reaction, and I think it was probably warranted for Kyle Higashioka. We couldn't have done that. When it comes to Martin Perez, yeah, I did get a couple of tweets yesterday. Oh, man, we couldn't have done that. Yeah, we probably could have. There was something that made them say, oh, no, we'll be fine letting him go. You could always reacquire Martin Perez at the deadline from the Chicago White Sox again. That is something I promise you. I promise you, if you want Martin Perez
they're going to be desperate to keep him as they charge toward their division title?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, look, again, good for Martin, man, to go out and get a deal like that. That's great. He seemed like a really good dude. And the thing is he loved pitching here. He loved working with AJ Preller. He's known AJ since he was 16 years old, and AJ used to drive him around to his practices and things like that in the DR. So, he was a nice pickup for us, but I wasn't devastated to see him go.
Martin Perez, think of it a little bit like California-style blackjack. If you're on 15, sometimes you hit, and sometimes you hit a 6.
Yep.
And it works out, and it was great. And last year, the Padres kind of hit on 15. They weren't expecting, I think, huge things, and they got a really nice performance.
They did.
Doesn't mean you need to hit on 15 every
year
time.
Every time,
it's like, Take your winnings.
Take your dub.
Take your winnings
and walk away.
And walk away from Martin Perez.
It's good analogy.
That may be what the Padres have done. Meanwhile, today is also the deadline for players who are arbitration eligible to either sign with their team or begin the arbitration process. The Padres have famously never gone to arbitration with a player under AJ Preller. We did have one. Reportedly, Robert Murray reporting that Luis Campusano has avoided arbitration and signed a 1-year, $1 million contract with the San Diego Padres. But there are still several other players who have yet to reach their 1-year deals, including Dylan Cease, Luis Arraez, Adrian Morejon. I think there's another one. Who's right here. Got the list of everybody
Jason Adam,
Michael King.
And that's it.
So,
Rise, Morejon, Cease.
If they don't come to an agreement by this afternoon, I believe is the deadline, then they will have to exchange arbitration figures. Now, you don't necessarily have to go to the hearing yet. You can still settle with the team somewhere between the two numbers, and that could very well be possible. But it looks like the Padres are at least going to maybe be closer to having to go to arbitration with so many guys still unsigned, and a number of those guys expected to get pretty big numbers with a rise, and Cease in particular. King's going to get a big raise after the season he had last year. The question is, how big of a raise and how much are each of those guys going to make?
When does the process start when they have to get in the room?
If the actual hearings don't happen until the start of spring training, like in mid to late February.
Yeah, so there's a good chance that they never get to that.
There still is the good chance. But keep in mind, we've been asking the question, why haven't the Padres done anything? Well, they also don't know exactly how much these guys are going to cost. There could be, I think I was reading a piece on arbitration this morning. Players won about a quarter of their cases last year. Teams won 75%. If you end up going to arbitration, you win all your cases. You may have an extra $10, $15 million in the budget. You lose all those cases,
you're out.
All of a sudden, you don't have that money. So if you're operating on a fairly small window of what you can afford, the numbers that these end up, settling at, or being, if you go to the hearing, being decided by the arbitration panel, could affect the other moves you make in the offseason as well for the San Diego Padres.
I got to imagine when Campy was given that, he probably signed it pretty quick.
$1 million.
Yeah.
If he hadn't, then he probably would have submitted 1.2, and the Padres would have submitted
900,000.
Yeah. And it's a process that some teams go, like the Brewers always seem to go to arbitration, and they don't mind. You get to go in. The team goes for an hour, and then the players, agent or representative, makes their case for an hour. Each side then has 30 minutes to rebut, and then the panel decides on one or the other. And if they think the player is worth anywhere more than 50% of the middle of the two, then the player wins. And if they think he's anywhere 50% lower than the two figures, then the team wins. And they make that decision as to what their salary is going to be for the next season.
What an excruciating process to have to go through. And then they point out all of the things that you did wrong. All of the, you were late. He was late to 3 meetings. It gets, from what I've heard, at least from players and that have gone through it.
Sounds awful.
It's terrible.
Sour Josh Hader on the Milwaukee Brewers, big time. As part of that process.
And you blew one save.
Yeah, you did this. And again, I think it's more than just like your numbers, right? I think it gets semi-personal, right? Yeah. And where you don't want that ever with your employer. But
how would it work if we went to our?
Oh my God, jeez, Ben would be in and out.
Ben would be screwed.
You think?
You show up at 5:30.
5:30. If I was his arb judge, he'd be dead.
I think I would probably go. Never a headache for the bosses. Always cooperative. Yeah. I think they just take whatever you want.
Take what you want.
Just you.
I would be a little bit harder.
You might be a little harder.
I'd also fight back.
Yes, you would. Yeah, it would be a more contentious process.
Yes, it would. The MLB, Ben. Somebody just tuned me into this, and you know how much I love power rankings.
I know you do.
The MLB just dropped their first team power rankings
of 2025.
Mm-hmm. Where would you guess? You already saw it, didn't you?
I didn't.
All right. Where would you guess the San Diego Padres are?
12.
Paulie?
I was going to say 14, 15.
Okay. They're 6th.
Oh, nice. Optimism. I love optimism.
I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped a little bit when I saw it. Somebody goes, guess. Somebody said in the chat, guess where the Padres are. I'm like, oh God,
I saw that too. So that's why I probably dropped my guess from 9 to 12. I was worried. I didn't want to sound stupid when you said 17.
Right. The Dodgers, is no surprise,
I'm going
to
go 1, right?
The Phillies, number 2. The Yankees, 3rd. Mets, 4th. Braves,
5.
5th. Padres,
6.
After the
7.
Padres, the Orioles, the Diamondbacks, the Astros, and the Brewers.
Where are the Giants?
Round at the top 10.
After making their signings.
All they had is the top 10. That's
right.
from what I saw.
Huh. All right, so they're 6th. Make a couple of good moves between now and spring training. Pop
Get
it up 3 or 4.
Yeah.
We're good to go.
Let's
for
go.
2025. I love it. All right, we got 1 hour to go. If you missed it, Ben's too sexy. can bring that back if you'd like. We also have our football threesome and Reindl Report, all coming up in the final hour of Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Adam's got all kinds of disturbing news during our break at the top of the hour. We'll see. Well, you first found out that there's a flu bug going through the Notre Dame locker room.
Fantastic.
Congratulations.
Just what you want to hear.
They're downplaying it by saying, but it's mostly like the backups.
Yeah. How did just the backups get the flu and just the special teams players? Give me a break.
Isn't that something?
Oh, yeah. Weird how this happened. I don't like
No
that.
chance they're downplaying it, so Penn State.
Yeah, so Riley Leonard's vomiting, right? He's got an IV. Jeremiah Love.
Cam Scadaboo played pretty well throwing up.
He did.
They didn't win, but he played pretty well.
Played damn well.
That was the first piece of bad news. The second one, neither of us, we're both shaking right now.
I don't think I can get it out of my head. Just some Twitter feed.
Internet is undefeated.
It really is. And in Indonesia, apparently, there are alligators that have learned to fake drowning.
So my first question was, I don't care if the alligator looks like it's
I'll watch
drowning.
him die.
I'm not going out to save it. Why would it matter
Oh,
if
no,
the alligator?
Let's go get him.
Or is this a crocodile?
I don't know. I think it's an alligator.
Okay, alligator. It looks like it's drowning.
They've put their little hands up in the water, and it looks like a human,
like an 8-year-old's hands.
Like an 8-year-old's hands. I'm not joking. I just saw it.
Like
the hair on the back of my
above
neck.
the surface, like
help me. And then a guy
and you
goes
go
in to
down
get
to rescue the 8-year-old, and you
Crocodiles.
find it's actually a crocodile.
Yeah, and you get eaten.
My God.
Adam in the chat says crocodiles do this in the United States as well.
Smart, man.
All right, well, there's an easy solution. Never go in the water.
What if it's an 8-year-old? What if it's an 8-year-old?
And they shouldn't have been in the water either with crocodiles.
You just walk away. It could be a crocodile. It could be an 8-year-old. I'm just walking away. I would be the guy that jumps in and is like, oh no, it's a crocodile. Great. Lisa says it's just shout out to his family. Keep it moving. Yeah, if it's the little hands coming out of the water, dude, I have goosebumps. It's so disturbing.
I don't like that at all.
I didn't like it. Paulie, have you seen the video?
I just saw it.
It's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Good. It's not good.
You're not supposed to do that.
That's worse than the flu ravaging the special teams of the Fighting Irish.
Paulie's putting it.
No. The guy's looking from the pier. He's like, you're not going to get me.
Oh, yeah, you guys should go check that out.
This sucks so bad. Oh, it really does look like little hands. I told Betty, I go, I'm going to be seeing this in my sleep for the rest of the week.
That's haunting. I do not like that.
Dude. Forget it.
Oh, man.
I am nonplussed by the whole situation here. Oh, God. I don't know that I can recover, really. Those little hands creeping out. Pass.
Oh, man. Let's see. We talked to the Aztecs earlier. They got the win over Air Force in a very unusual game last night. In the first half, the Aztecs played maybe half of their worst half of the season and half of their best half of the season. Ended up behind 20-8 and then went on a 40-4 run.
Played 3 quarters of a really brilliant game.
And that's been a bit of a theme for the team this year.
Slow start?
Well, just a lapse somewhere. Sometimes it's in the second half. You let the team come back into it. Sometimes it's a first half and a slow start.
Often. I'm like, does every team just do this? Is this just every basketball game?
I mean, it to a certain extent. I mean, no team usually plays their best for the entire 40 minutes or 48 minutes for a game. You're going to have ups and downs, but it does seem to be a bit of a recurring theme for the Aztecs in particular, where they have these stretches. And it used to be just those offensive stretches. I mean, the defense is still really good for San Diego State, and it will keep them in games even when the offense disappears. I think the offense disappears less this season than I've seen in other years
100%.
for San Diego State.
100%.
And they have multiple options. Like yesterday, it was B.J. Davis. Was the guy. Other guys are missing shots, like Wayne McKinney, short, stop shooting. Give it to someone else, because eventually you're going to find someone who's got the rhythm, who's got the stroke, and you're going to start scoring some points.
Miles Byrd with a whopping 7 points, and the Aztecs still absolutely dominated the game. The 40-4 run was spectacular. But again, I mentioned it earlier, they were talking about the broadcast with a guy like Miles Byrd who does so much. He plays such good defense as well, is constantly, like not a guy you'd want to play against, right, Paulie? Like, just a pest. Just a pest, 100%. And you know he can go off for 30 points as well. He is he stands out every time I watch a game.
Him and Nick Boyd in the backcourt, the way that they were pressuring those ball handlers for Air Force, they were just picking their pockets left and right.
Yeah.
And then they're so athletic. They're so fast. If that ball got out of your hands for a second, they had it and they were taken off for a dunk.
It was a really nice turnaround.
One of them did miss a dunk earlier. It was an alley-oop, but the Aztecs seem to miss at least one dunk almost every game.
Yeah.
It was Farrow, but he got fouled.
Oh, did he get fouled on that one? Okay.
Maybe there's another one.
I thought there was another one. It was kind of an alley-oop that they went
Farrow
up and missed.
Compton got lob, and he was trying to dunk it, but he got fouled.
It's fine. You know, it's a symptom of Dutch's coaching style, which is to not overcoach his team. He doesn't immediately pull a guy for making a mistake, which occasionally means guys make mistakes and they feel free to try something sometimes, and it doesn't go right all the time. And Dutch doesn't generally lose his mind like other college basketball coaches do.
He is really a composed head coach, man. And you look at some of the other, like you said, the other college coaches, and it's like, did you see Mick Cronin going up on his team the other day?
He called him soft.
He called him soft. Yeah. He said
they got bodied by Michigan.
He said something. He said something to the effect of
UCLA's Mick Cronin.
Yeah, he says I'm coaching delusional people. Like he just gets up on stage.
You never hear Dutch say that.
Never,
I mean, in all the years, 8 years of Dutch, and then the 20 years of Fish before that. Or
You're Dutcher and I'm Cronin. There's no question.
Yeah, you just never really heard him go off on their team. Now, I thought Dutch was probably pretty unhappy when he called his timeout. Chemo Ferrari's in the game pretty early. I'm going, he's not happy with his team's either effort or execution at this point. But he wasn't a lunatic on the sideline about it. He made his point. They started playing better. He fixes things. He doesn't let it fester. He just fixes things right away.
Smart timeout.
And they move on. Really smart timeout. So they get the win. They play at New Mexico Saturday morning at 10 a.m. on CBS in another big road early season Mountain West Conference test. Speaking of basketball, I didn't watch a ton. I'm assuming you didn't watch any. Had a fairly big game last night. Cavs and Thunder. Had a team with a 10-game winning streak against a team with a 15-game winning streak. That's never happened in NBA history. Cavs ended up winning 129-122, so the 15-gamer's over. Cleveland's now won 11 in a row.
Wow.
I mean, those are the two best teams so far in basketball. I don't think anyone had Cavs Thunder as their NBA Finals bingo card necessarily at the beginning of the season.
We got a ways to go.
They both look legit, though. I think Boston obviously is still going to be a huge factor in the East, but I haven't seen anyone better than Oklahoma City with Shea and the team that they've put together. Adding the guy from New York, Hartenstein. He's been a real nice pickup for them as well. They're I think the team to beat right now in the Western Conference in the NBA.
Basketball lost me again. Had me early.
Yeah,
lost me again. Sorry.
You got a little timeout. Well, we'll get you back for the playoffs at some point.
Allegedly.
And then I wanted to give a quick shout out to our friend of the program, longtime guest, been on the show many times, who announced his retirement yesterday on social media. Did you see this? Jim Trotter said he is done.
Really?
With his sports media career. He was out on the golf course.
I did not see that.
First day of retirement. I'm spending it well out on the golf course.
So Bernie Wilson retired. Jim Trotter
retires.
Man, that's a couple of guys that are not afraid.
Yeah, remember Jim sued the NFL after he was let go by the league and their media arm. Reached a settlement. Hopefully, he did well enough in the settlement that he's feeling comfortable and can spend all the time that he wants with his dog and on the golf course.
Lucky.
And the legendary Jim Trotter, as it is.
Legendary
Boo Trotter.
I'm happy for him. He's not an old man by any stretch. I'm not happy for him. I'm envious.
You're
He
jealous.
gets to walk away from all of this mess and just go play golf and do his thing. I'm so ready to retire at 49. You have no idea. Today, if I could. I love you guys, but holy smokes. Imagine just not having to worry about 4 hours of content every day.
You'd be bored.
You are out of your mind.
I mean, not the first day, but
the first day.
I think after 2 or 3 weeks, you get bored.
I'm incapable of boredom.
You have young kids, so they keep you running around. But trust me, they're going to start growing up, and they will become more self-sufficient, and you will find yourself going, all right, what am I What am I supposed to do now with this time?
I can think of about 100 things that I would like to do.
I mean, I have 2 jobs to keep myself busy still.
Yeah, that's insane.
No, it's not.
It is. It's insane.
Not. It's not.
I would have zero problem sitting on my ass.
Zero,
doing nothing.
Zero jobs all day long.
Adam says your honeydew list would force you back to work. No, I like doing those things. I like running errands. I loved during the break when we were off. I loved getting up. And I didn't get up. I didn't sleep in. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning still. I liked handling some business, getting a little nap in, hitting the driving range, playing a little golf.
What business were you handling, though? If you're retired, you don't have any business to handle.
No, I mean handling business like paying some bills, cleaning out emails, stuff like that. Just business, ordering things, getting things organized. I like to organize stuff. I have
Timu time.
No Timu time. No Timu time at all. But I have I would like to be. I think I'd be a great stay-at-home dad. I'm trying to sell the wife on it, but she's not convinced.
Adam spelled honeydew, HONEYDOO. I've always wondered, is it honeydew like the fruit?
No, DEW. It's not.
Or is it
like
honey-DO, like
it's
honey
D-O.
do this?
It's honey do this. What do you
But
think it was? Like melon?
Well, no, I
errands?
just thought maybe you spelled it like the melon.
Why would you spell it like the melon?
I don't know, because that's the only word that's actually a honeydew is a word.
Honey-do.
Is that's
how
it's spelled?
Do this.
I know what it means, obviously. I just didn't know how it was spelled.
We call that an a-hole do list in my house. That's how Hannah phrases
it. Call it a cantaloupe list.
It's so
The
stupid.
MFR list. MFR do list.
Yeah,
Hey,
MFR do this. A honey. You really thought it was spelled like the melon?
I just thought maybe I could spell it. It's a honeydew
Man's got
list.
nothing but melons on
I knew what
his
it
mind.
meant. I
Always.
just didn't know how it was spelled.
Yeah, I would. I would thrive in retirement. I've done enough.
I wasn't really nervous about making NFL picks until we decided that the loser of our
bet?
NFL picks has to wear a mesh shirt for an hour on the show.
I can't wait.
My upper torso is not my best feature.
None of ours is. So it's a win. I mean, it's
like I'm happy to show off my calves.
Yeah, it's not happening. We're not going to just be able to show off our best features.
Yeah.
The wearing of it's got to be black mesh, and you have to wear
It could be white.
black.
You could pick
It's got to be
red,
black. It's
blue.
got to be black. Black.
And this is just for the person who finishes last in our picks.
Wait, is it just
We got to figure all
for the
these
round?
rules out.
For the round, like the first round.
No, for the whole playoffs.
No, they've got to
like
go
right now, like a quick payoff on Monday.
quick
Tuesday
payoff.
morning.
Yeah, Tuesday morning.
Oh, yeah, Tuesday, because we're playing on Monday.
We may have a very special guest in
I'm
studio
not doing
on
that.
Tuesday.
Absolutely not.
Very special guest.
No,
different hour
he
then.
said it's good to go.
He's good to go.
It's happening.
He's coming
tease?
in.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll tease that we're going to tease something, and we'll
I don't
have
like
our.
that.
We're gonna tease that we're gonna tease something.
I don't like
Well,
that.
I mean, when we announce who's coming in on Tuesday, that's the tease. But I'm not saying it now, so I'm teasing you.
If we
about
have to do that
teasing it.
in front of him, that's even more mortifying.
Well, we don't have to do it. It's a different hour. Is
All
what
right,
I'm
if you
saying.
say
It's
so.
a different hour. All right, we got our special football threesome with our NFL wild card round selections coming up right after a check of traffic. First, though, here's Woodsy.
Yeah, if you're a California sports fan, good news. Underdog available to play here in our state. The best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs, which players are going to go off and which ones are ice cold. I will be completely honest with you guys. Since the flu news came out, I may have to alter my picks on Underdog a little bit. I really don't know that. If you didn't hear the news, there is a flu sweeping through the locker room of Notre Dame. Now, they did say it was just special teams and backup players. I don't know how discerning the flu is there, but it's something to consider tonight if you're going into pick. But with the pick'em game, you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. Obviously, yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and more. They got all your favorite leagues, teams, and stars to choose from. So I will look at my picks and see if I'm going to ride with them or if I'm going to change them. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app. Use the promo code WOODS when you deposit, and you'll get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, Underdog is the app. The promo code is Woods, my last name. Must be 18 or over, present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Hamul Casino. Fun above all else.
Actually nervous.
Yeah, I am too.
So I teased the tease. The special guest that we're going to have in studio on Tuesday, and I believe it is all locked up, so I guess we can just let everybody know. It's someone that I think all three of us highly respect, a trailblazer in San Diego radio, someone who has had more success in this business than the three of us combined will ever have.
Not like a big celebrity, nationwide or anything, but it's the kind of person that when you see their name pop up on your phone, you go, oh,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah,
wow. That's cool.
I'm extremely nervous for this. And the good news is he's a fan of this program, as I was a massive fan of his for all the years that he worked in San Diego. The one, the only, Dave Rickards is coming in studio to hang out, share some stories.
He's got a nice voice, too.
He is a legend, man.
I hope my voice is better by then.
I do, too. I just hope you don't embarrass us.
And I hope I don't have to be wearing a mesh shirt while he's in studio with us on Tuesday either, because that is the punishment for whoever comes in last in our wild card round picks.
So that's how we want to do it, because I was looking back at last year's picks.
Fired up.
We went round by round.
Yeah, we did a whole 1 point for the first round, 2 point thing. But Woods wants to let's just do picks, 1 point for a win, and then we'll do it again next week if you want. But it's time for our football threesome.
Can Ben and Woods interest you in a threesome?
A threesome would be fun.
Oh, not that kind of threesome.
Dang it.
We're talking end-arounds, the best tight ends in the world.
He must work out.
And going all the way in this game of inches.
Nice.
It's the NFL Threesome with Ben and Woods. Brought to you by Hamul Casino. Fun above all else on 97.3 The Fan.
Personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
All right, a little bit modified today. We'll call it the 3 AFC games and then the 3 NFC games for our football threesome. A sextet.
A sextet, which is perfect for the theme.
It's a football.
It's too much, man. That's too much.
Today.
A threesome would be fun, but
all right, so we'll preview a little bit and then pick as we go along. Let's just go in chronological order. It begins Saturday afternoon, 1:30. First AFC wildcard game, the Los Angeles Chargers visiting the Houston Texans.
Paulie, are you tracking these? Are you writing these down?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not making our picks right now.
Yeah,
we're not?
We're
Yeah,
making
we
them
are.
as they go, right?
Oh,
Yes,
I
we
thought
go.
we were going to preview them all.
No,
and
we're gonna preview and pick as we go.
Okay.
So the Chargers on the road, but had a better record than 11-win season. Texans won their division, so they get the home game, but they were a 10-7 team going into it. It is Jim Harbaugh's first playoff game with the Los Angeles Chargers, and they are favored by 3. Go ahead. You want me to go first?
Go, sure.
Yeah, I'm not going to let the Chargers put me into a mesh shirt, so I will wear. I'll pick the Chargers -3. And if they lose and the Texans put me in a mesh shirt, I'm okay with that.
Fine by me. I will also roll with the LA Chargers. I think they are the better football team. And listen, we'll see if everyone's the chargering is dead. We'll see if that adage holds true. As they'll.
I think their last playoff game was the one where they blew the gigantic lead to the Jacksonville Jaguars, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And were eliminated. So this is the first one since then. Paulie?
I got an opportunity
You
to separate myself here a little bit.
Yeah, get yourself in some mesh too.
But I'm not risking anything.
All right.
We're
Okay.
all going to either
Win or
gain
lose,
one
or
lose
win that
one
game.
together.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to stick with the Chargers.
All
That's
right.
my strategy for that.
No, we've all taken the Chargers in the first game. Second game, 5 o'clock start on Saturday on Prime. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, an AFC North rematch. Baltimore is favored by 9.5.
What a number.
It's a big number.
It's a huge number.
I will add the Pittsburgh Steelers have lost 5 consecutive playoff games and have not won a postseason game. This shocked me. In 8 years. They're looking to end a long skid. Can they do it, or at least keep it close against the Baltimore Ravens?
I'm going to say no, and I'm going to rock with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to cover 9.5 points in an NFL playoff game.
All right,
Rolling with Baltimore.
I will go the other way, just because the number is so huge,
So big.
and Lamar Jackson's playoff track record is not exactly stellar here. He has admitted to maybe getting a little jittery or overhyped for some of these playoff games. I don't see Baltimore blowing out Pittsburgh in this game, so I'm going to take the Steelers at least to keep it around 7 points. So I'll take Pittsburgh.
Ravens are playing really good football. Huge spread. I would love to know what's the highest spread in an NFL playoff game. I mean, you get to the playoffs; these are all good teams. You get close to double digits. That's a lot. But I will be riding with Baltimore as well. They're playing really, really well.
All right, you guys on one side, I'm on the island.
Enjoy your mesh.
All right, not yet. We've got 4 more games left. All right, we've got the Denver Broncos Sunday morning at the Buffalo Bills. It's been very cold on the East Coast. I don't know if that's going to last, but we could have frigid temperatures. Not that they don't feel those in Denver as well.
To pick
but
on Thursday.
It's terrible.
When it's on Sunday, or what is that?
This
Saturday?
is also a large spread, 8.5 points.
Paulie, you go first on this one.
I'm taking Buffalo minus the 8.5.
Okay.
I think Denver is the old, no one expected us to be here. We're happy to be here. And if we get blown out, no one's going to care.
Nobody cares.
So when that happens, you generally get blown out. Josh Allen's got still lots of stuff to prove. Give me Buffalo, and I'll lay the 8.5.
Yep, I'm right there with you guys.
All right.
Buffalo, minus 8.5.
All right. I remain on my island with Pittsburgh. Second game on Sunday, maybe the biggest game of the weekend. The Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, only 4.5-point favorites. Jalen Hurts has been practicing, declaring himself healthy this week, ready to go, although some question marks with the injury at the end of the season. Got Jordan Love and the Packers on the other side. Woodsy, you go first on this one. Minus 4.5.
I'm going to go out on a little bit of an island. I'm going to go against the grain, take the Green Bay Packers plus 4.5.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I will
Call it a gut feeling.
I've liked the Packers. They play in I don't know. Philadelphia, though, they were the strongest team maybe in the second half of this season. I'll take the Eagles minus 4.5.
I kind of want the mash, so yeah, go ahead. You know it's going to be me. You know it is.
Yeah, I'm taking Philadelphia.
All right, Paulie and I are on the
Philly
Eagles.
minus 4.5.
Woodsy's going with the slight upset with the Green Bay Packers. All right, last game on Sunday, 5 o'clock game, NBC and Peacock, the Washington Commanders at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Bucks a field goal favorite at home over the Commanders. Jaden Daniels, a rookie going into his first rookie going into his first playoff game against Baker Mayfield.
Man,
savvy veteran.
Yep.
Give me the savvy veteran. I'll take the Bucks -3.
All right, I'll go against the grain. I'll take the upstart rookie in the Washington Commanders.
The W.
+3.
Paulie?
I am going with the Bucks -3 in that one.
All right, Paul and I take the Bucks. Woods takes the Commanders. And then finally, Monday night, currently scheduled for SoFi Stadium, but could be moved if they need to. The Minnesota Vikings at the Los Angeles Rams, and this is the smallest spread of the week, and the road team is favored. The Minnesota Vikings favored by 1.
They know something.
Over the Rams. Surprising that it's not a bigger number.
Yeah, surprising that the Vikings are only favored by 1 point.
100%. But we all watched Sam Darnold play last week.
So that's the thing.
It was horrible.
I felt somewhere deep inside all season long, I'm like, this is not Sam Darnold. This is not who he is.
You're right.
He's got to come back to earth at some point. He did against the Lions last week. You're like, oh, you remember Sam Darnold is still Sam Darnold.
He did not look good.
But did he really fool us for
He did
16 weeks?
He really did.
Or did he just have a bad week 17?
Well, I mean, if I look, I'm rolling with Minnesota. I'm taking Minnesota -1. It's a pick'em game. I'm taking Minnesota in this one.
I'm taking Minnesota as well.
I think this is the easiest pick of the week. I'll go with Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings.
Shocker.
That game could be moving.
Going
to
into Detroit
Arizona.
is one thing. They were rabid last week. They wanted that one badly. Going into L.A. is not as tough, and who knows what's even going to happen this weekend. So, give me Minnesota. I think they'll be more locked in for this game.
All right, we've got our picks set. Loser wears a mesh shirt for an hour.
What happens if two people tie? Do we flip a
two
coin?
mesh?
Two
No, two
mesh
mesh
shirts.
shirts.
Oh, wow.
Breaking Padres news. You see it?
No. We got to tease it though.
All right.
When we come back,
Breaking
and then,
Padres news.
Breaking
next.
Padres news and the Reindl Report. Final segment of Ben and Woods. First, you can bequeath your mesh shirt
It's a great word.
if you want to by setting up a will.
It's a word.
Or a trust with Trust and Will, something that Woods and I learned about during our holiday break. Both did it quite simply and easily online. They make it they make kind of an unpleasant subject very easy to deal with.
I always pictured doing my will. I'd have to go to some guy's office and sit in front of his big wooden desk and be like, yes, no, them, hey, give it to him, give it to her. No, I did it online. It was
It's
fantastic.
also dusty and scary in the office in my mind for some reason.
It was so easy to do. You want to keep your family out of probate court after you pass away. Nobody wants to think about the big, the end.
How about taxes? If you own a house and you want to bequeath it to your kids,
yes,
but you don't write that out, they might have to pay the absolute new property taxes,
Yes.
tens of thousands and more in property taxes. You can avoid a lot of that by setting up a simple document at Trust and Will. Go online to trustandwill.com. Use the code San Diego, all one word, and you can get 10% off by setting up your simple documents by using the code San Diego at checkout.
That's exactly right, my friends. Once again, trustandwill.com. Use code San Diego, one word, when you check out. They will ship you your documents. It is so easy to do. Trustandwill.com.
All right, some people are mad that I made you wait to tell everybody the Padres news.
Somebody goes, it's like not like we don't have Twitter, buddy.
Yeah, some people driving in their cars, they can't check, though, and now they have to come back to find out what the Padres news was after our brief timeout. So, Woods, let everybody know what just happened with the San Diego Padres.
Listen, my friends, it's one of those things that we were wondering what it was going to settle at, and sources say Luis Arraez and the Padres have settled at $14 million, avoiding arbitration. His projected number was 14.6, so we just saved $600,000.
All right, so they've gotten Campy done. They got Tyler Wade done very early. And
he was a free agent, wasn't he?
No, he was an ARB player.
Oh, was he?
Too, yeah, and they got Luis Arraez done. I was looking at like the official projections, like MLB Trade Rumors has a model where they project what guys are going to make in arbitration. They had Arraez at 14.6.
Yep.
So slight bargain maybe for the Padres.
Just said that.
With Luis Arraez. So they still have Dylan Cease, who's projected at 13.7. Michael King projected at 7.9. Morahone at 1.8. Jason Adam at 5.3. And Patino at, did they get him done already? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, so it's just those are the Adam, Morahone, King, and Cease left.
Yep.
And again, if they don't get it today, then they have to exchange the figures and are at least on a collision course for an arbitration hearing next month.
Yeah, I mean, look, you re-signed Luis Arraez, and I saw somebody tweet that the Yankees are not in talks to get Luis Arraez, but it doesn't mean he can't still be traded, but his number is set for next year.
And by the way, Rod says best news ever. He was already guaranteed to be a San Diego, well, no more so than he was an hour ago. They can still trade him. He was never not going to get a contract. You have to give him a contract once he has been offered arbitration. So he's always been in line to be a Padre or be traded before the start of the season.
Yeah, Rod, you can get excited about it if you see him out at spring training. Exactly.
Exactly. All right, we're going to check traffic one last time, and then Paulie's going to give us some headlines on the Reindl Report.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Guys, my sources are telling me that police activity has still got the Civic Center Front Street off-ramp of southbound 5 closed. So, if you normally take that, you might want to just have a backup plan. Also getting reports of a stalled vehicle south 5 before Civic Center. It's got that right lane blocked. Also collision on northbound 125 just past San Miguel Ranch Road. It's blocking the right lane, and an accident on the Broadway on-ramp to South 67 West 8. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
All right.
Before you get started, Paulie, more breaking news. According to the UT, Kevin Acee, Adrian Morahone, and the Padres have agreed on a $2 million contract.
All right.
For 2025.
That was right where he was expected to get.
He was right in line with the projections. So at this pace, maybe they get them all done today. They're moving quickly with their arbitration agreements this morning.
All right. We will start off. How about a little basketball? You ever watch? It can be any sport. Basketball, football. You see a post-game interview. Maybe the broadcasters sitting courtside. Somebody's always got to be doing something over their shoulder behind them. Hey, wave.
Yeah.
They're on
Waving.
their phone. Hey, can you see me?
Yeah.
Hey, can you see me? Sometimes it's kids Well, pretty fun moment yesterday in the, it's weird to say the ACC when you're talking about Stanford, but Stanford is in the ACC.
Yes, the Atlantic Conference.
So ACC network host Taylor Tannenbaum, she was interviewing, I don't know how to say, is Stanford's best players, Maxime Reinaud.
Close.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know that one.
Losange.
So
Maxime Losange.
I'll set the scene. If you're not watching us on YouTube, if you're listening in your car, you'll hear there's a kid dancing, and he is getting after it in the front row behind the basketball player who's being interviewed. And the basketball player decides we probably just need to make him a part of this interview.
Top 25, and you are on that list. Before we continue with this interview, I need you to turn around your left shoulder. There's a kid dancing, cooking in the pot. I need you to look at him. Look, now he's going to run away. Yeah, I know.
He's doing amazing. He's doing amazing. He's doing amazing. Come here. Come
Get
see
him
the
in
TV.
the
Come see the
interview.
TV.
Kids climbing over chairs
come around.
to get on TV.
Yeah, he's coming.
Yeah, you know, this is what it's all about. The fans coming out to watch you play there in that arena. And look, you're going to make this kid's day. See if he can talk into the microphone. Ask him what his name is. Tell him to lean into the mic. Get his name at least.
Hey, what's your name?
I'm Isaac.
What do you think of the game today?
It was great. You did awesome.
I did awesome. What about the team, though? The
team did very well. They played together very well.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are you going to be a big supporter this year?
Yes.
I love it. Thank you so much.
There it is.
Perfect.
What a moment.
He gets to end up doing the post-game interview.
Nice.
there on the
Little Isaac.
Was the band playing Our House in the Middle of Our Street
I
in the
didn't notice.
background by Madness, I believe?
I like that song.
I do too. That's why I was
I
trying
actually
to.
did not notice that.
I was trying to pick out the song in
I was
the
trying
background.
to drown it out and listen to the interview.
So was I. I
have
usually
trouble.
take on
I
words
have
over
trouble
here.
drowning out background music.
Take on Ben.
Yeah.
All right. That was just kind of a feel-good story because, well, you're probably not going to like this next one.
Oh, good.
From the Awful Announcing. They do rankings all the time throughout the year. We talk about like Mud and Dawn, the broadcast rankings that they do in baseball. Well, they do it in other sports, and they do like score bug rankings. What network has the best score bug?
Not the Mountain West.
It's not the Mountain West. They did not rate very highly. I'm just going to go ahead.
Do you
and
like
guess.
hieroglyphics? Then you will love the Mountain West. Can you read ancient Sanskrit? Because if you can, you will love the Mountain West scorebug. Nothing better.
God.
Are you a biblical scholar? Then the Mountain West scorebug is for you. Stupid.
Oh, God. So, Awful Announcing, they put these polls out for all of their readers. I mean, they can get up to like 20,000 votes, and then they calculate everything. And this is the one that came out today is the 2024 Awful Announcing NFL Announcer Rankings. We watch all the NFL games. You get the different booths. Everybody's got their favorites. Everyone's got guys that they hate.
Better not be who I think it is.
All right, we'll start with, they rank like 25 different booths. It's not just the guys that are together every week. It's also Nate Burleson and J.J. Watt. They did the one Netflix game, so they're on there. Where did they? The Manning Cast is an NFL broadcast, so they're in there as well. So out of 25, we'll start with the top 5. We'll narrow it down there. Number 5 is Ian Eagle and Charles Davis from CBS.
Right, they needed to be in the top 5.
Yeah.
They got a 3.11 grade. Most common grade was an A. They did very well. Then we have number 4 is Kevin Harlan and Trent Green.
Elite.
They do CBS. They also did one game on NFL Network.
Okay.
Kevin Harlan not being in the top 3 is
It's pretty embarrassing.
kind of tough.
If there's somebody in there that I think there might be, I'm going to be very upset.
Now, I don't know about this one. Number 3 is the Sunday Night Football broadcast. Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth.
It's all right.
It's okay.
Fine.
I
You're
might
just
have had
kinda
it more in
used to
the
it.
5 range.
Yeah,
but-
5 to 7.
Yeah, 5 to 7, but not bad. But
not bad.
Number 2, Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Monday
Still
Night
love 'em.
Football.
I think
ESPN,
they're great.
ABC. I do too.
I will always love them.
I think I appreciate them more than I used to.
Yep.
And then number 1, Greg Olson and Joe Davis.
There's no effing way.
Here's the problem. Greg Olson is really good.
He's
really good.
Maybe it's a curve.
He's bringing up the grade for the class.
Joe's actually better for me at football than he is baseball. It's not because he's with the Dodgers. He
I
just
mean,
puts me
you
to
know,
sleep.
Most common comments, amazing combination, best duo, hands down.
I feel like
best
I'm
booth in football.
I feel like I'm in a simulation, man.
You don't like the the
Puker.
blandy, pukey,
Hate it.
Joe Davis style. But like Pat Summerall was as bland as you can get calling a game.
No, he was drunk though. He was
Over
great.
the middle, complete.
He was
And we
great.
love Pat Summerall. He was great.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll love Joe Davis in 60 years.
It's possible, but it's definitely
Number
less
one
is more.
They're probably third, fourth. There's no way they're better than Joe and Troy. No way. No chance.
I agree.
No.
I'm glad Tom
chance.
Brady didn't make the list.
So am I.
Jim
Yeah.
Nance and Tony Romo came in at 6.
Okay. Romo brings it down a little bit.
He used to be better. I
He
feel
did.
like he's
He's
gotten
got the
worse
The shine
somehow.
really came off of
Yeah,
him
it
quickly.
really did.
Yeah.
It did.
I don't know where...
Joe just puts me to sleep, dude.
I
Really
don't
does.
see Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt.
They are not on that list.
Which I don't know
It
why.
hasn't been a good review for Tom Brady so far.
I thought he's been pretty good.
He's been okay, yeah. Didn't bother me.
Some good insight, but
Yeah.
I think the mechanics need some work, as you'd expect. It's
I'm
his
not
first year
listening
doing
for
it.
the mechanics, though.
Right.
I'm listening for the insight.
Yeah, I want the insight from Tom Brady.
I'd listen to Michael Jordan comment on a basketball game.
I just feel like this Joe Davis thing has just been shoved down everyone's throats, and we're all just supposed to buy into it. I really do.
Speaking of the broadcaster power rankings, you realize in a couple of weeks they're going to be doing the sports radio morning show power
man.
rankings that they do every year.
We've been in there before.
I think we were last year, weren't we?
Yeah.
20?
Yeah. I
Top
think we've
20?
gone
Top
up,
20.
but I don't know.
I don't know if we'll make it or not. We're always kind of on the fringe of the top 20. Feel like we should be moving up, though.
That's one would think.
You would
but
think.
You never
I mean,
know.
the show, I think, continues to improve. We have more, established credibility in the sports radio industry. I'd like to move up this year. I'm aiming for top 15.
I just have this gut feeling we're not on it.
I do too.
Yeah,
That's-
I have the
mean,
feeling.
maybe we just both have just bad feelings.
All right,
but-
if we're top 10, we all wear mesh shirts.
Damn mesh shirts.
it's going to
Hey,
be,
it's better
Boomer
than
and Carton again or someone. I don't know.
It's better than the spandex, the Under Armour bet, the tight Under Armour bet. Way better.
I'm trying to see if I can find...
My nipples are going to come right through one of the holes of the mesh shirt.
Let me see what our ranking was last year. Find it later. All right, and then finally, this is, I don't know, kind of sad, but play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, I guess.
Somebody try to save a drowning crocodile?
No, but an older woman, she's in her 70s, in Georgia, is $3,000 in the hole.
Okay.
Because, well, Alan Jackson asked her for a loan.
Oh, no.
On Facebook.
I can't laugh. This is Paulie. God.
I guess I'm using this story as
a warning,
an educational tool. If anybody out there thinks you might be talking to somebody, you're probably not. Yeah.
Grandma, that's not Alan Jackson that's
So-
needing $3,000 from you. You know, Alan Jackson of the Chattahoochee fame.
Yeah. If a celebrity reaches out to you and asks you for money,
it's not real.
It ain't them.
I can't tell you how not real it is. I cannot impart it to you enough. Beyonce's not calling you asking you for money. Neither is Alan Jackson.
So she told cops that the scam started last summer. She posted just something about Alan Jackson on Facebook. That's how it works. You type in somebody's name, you kind of work yourself into the algorithm or whatever. So she wrote, listening to Alan Jackson or whatever on Facebook. Then someone claiming to be his manager messaged her the next day and said that they would put her in touch with Alan Jackson. And she's a huge fan. Why wouldn't you pursue that? She thought she was talking to Alan Jackson for months.
My God.
And then in October, he started asking her to send him Apple gift cards. Here's where it gets like this. Again, it's hard not to laugh. It's wrong to laugh. I understand. He said he needed the money, the Apple gift cards, by the way, not the money, the Apple gift cards, because he was going through a divorce and his assets were frozen.
My wife has all of the money.
I have
Jackson, by the way, not getting divorced.
Not
It's
getting
not a, that's
I
not a
figured it
thing.
out. I just Googled what celebrities need a loan, and here's the answer from Chat GPT AI. While it's not publicly known exactly which celebrities currently need a loan, some well-known examples of celebrities who have historically faced financial difficulties and may have needed loans include Mike Tyson, Marvin Gaye, and Kim Basinger, who have all filed for bankruptcy due to extravagant spending habits or other financial issues. So if Marvin Gaye,
who's dead,
contacts you on Facebook,
not him.
He might need a loan.
If Kim Basinger contacts me, Hannah may be in for it. Sorry, I don't know. I mean, that's Kim Basinger, babe. What do you want me to do? Man, it makes me so sad.
She sent a total of 36 Apple gift cards.
My God.
Totaling $2,900.
So you know that I've kept those dudes on the phone for like an hour and a half and given them fake numbers. All right, you ready? Write it down. Here we go. 7 D 4 6 X D 4 7 9, and I just rip through it. And I'll mess with them for an hour. Because if I'm getting them for an hour, that's an hour they can't be scamming some old lady.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? I would do it professionally if I could get paid.
Logic.
You know what I mean? And I have fun with it. I really, really do.
You in the past, you have actually said out loud, "Why do they keep calling me?" I'm like, "Because you keep answering them." It's very simple.
I like to mess with them. I like to get their hopes up.
I like that you mess with
them. Yeah.
But
Thank you, Paulie.
If Alan Jackson slips into your DMs and asks for money, for gift cards to the Apple store because he's getting divorced.
I love it. I have no money. Send me iTunes gift cards. What are you going to buy? Music? I really need to fulfill. I need music. That's what I need. That's what I've been missing.
You need to get the new Jelly Roll album.
Yes.
I need to buy more copies of my own. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Adam says they record your voice. I don't care. I do not care.
And then they use it to call other people.
For
hey,
what?
this is Woodsy. I need gift cards.
Stupid. So dumb.
You got to be the deep fakes. You got to be careful of the deep fakes.
But I really enjoy. I get a real kick when I get one on the line. It's really a fun time. Thank you, Paulie.
You're welcome.
You guys excited for your golf today?
Yeah.
I am.
Should do your diarrhea pants.
You sad you can't play?
Feel like I'll be okay at this point.
I am sad. My son is sick. I just found out.
I thought it was your hamstring.
Well, it's that too, but I had my hamstring. Hannah said, "Well, you can go out and just ride in the cart." And I go, "Yeah, I could." And I said, "But if I have the afternoon to myself, that's even better."
You could caddy for me.
I do not want to caddy for you, and I will miss you guys certainly. But then she texted me that Bo's hacking up a lung, so I'm going to go pick him up from school a little early, get him some rest, and I'll be doing that today.
Well, enjoy your day.
I will. You guys too.
I don't know. I don't know. Are we playing with Willie Mack III? We might be.
I don't know.
It's possible. Our guest from earlier today.
Don't embarrass us.
I'll try not to.
You have a scalded taint.
I do.
If you missed it this morning,
spilled coffee all down
in your crotch.
Yeah, right. I mean,
did it get the
deep in.
Did it get the boys at all?
Yeah.
You got the boys too.
Yeah. They were sitting in a pool of scalding hot coffee for 15 seconds at least. Couldn't really go anywhere. I was in the front seat of my car.
Is it like burnt?
It's definitely.
Is it red?
I don't know.
Let me take a look.
No.
You sure?
That's between me and my private physician.
You need some sort of salve or something. Are you sure?
I'll be fine. Yes.
All right. Well, don't embarrass us out there.
I'll be
today,
fine.
Guys. I'll miss you.
We will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. for the final show of our first week back.
It's been a doozy.
It's been a long week.
Yes.
Hasn't it? Feels like more than a week. Perhaps.
It really does. Feels like we're in February.
But we're almost to the end of it. You got the Annie and Elston program that is coming up next for our executive producer and imaging director, Paul Reindl, and Stephen Woods. I'm Ben Higgins. Thanks for joining us, and have a great rest of your Thursday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.